Hello!
And welcome back, or welcome to Books and Crannies.
A book lovers podcast.
I'm Danielle.
I am Sarah.
And we are here wrapping up the second half of The Serpent and the Wings of Night.
Yeah.
By Carissa Broadbent.
Heck yeah.
Heck yizzle. We were meant to have a guest this episode, but unfortunately she couldn't join us. You guys are stuck with us.
Yeah.
You're stuck with us.
Ha. Suckers.
Sucks to suck. Just kidding.
You don't suck. We love you.
Yeah, we love you.
Please stay. Don't leave.
Don't go. Anyway, we're back to usual.
Yeah.
Back to your regular programming of hearing us talk for a long time.
Being chaos.
Every week.
Yep.
And we're starting at chapter 29.
Yeah. Through the end of the book.
29 through the end. I don't even know.
46 chapters.
Okay.
I think.
I was going to say I have no idea, so it's probably good that you maybe know.
I very well could be wrong.
Maybe know. Yeah. Is the operative word here.
That's 2 words. Yeah.
Whatever. Stop roasting me.
I love
Just
you.
So, y'all, grab a freaking snack.
And a drink.
And a blankie. A soft one.
Yeah.
Or to clean your kitchen.
A hardcover.
Not a hardcover. Or do chores. I don't know.
Yeah. Do what you do.
You know
Just don't vacuum or do anything else that's really loud.
No garbage disposals.
Yeah,
no loud music.
Yeah.
That's outlawed in this space. Anyway.
Let's dive right in.
Let's freaking get to it.
Yeah.
So, last we left off, what's up?
I was going to say what you were saying. Go ahead.
Oh. Last we left off, they
drank some potion.
Yeah. Sorry, thanks.
You're good.
I thought that I was on a page with the last chapter's notes, but it's at this chapter that it starts. Yeah.
Yeah, so they drank a potion and they were like, good luck.
Yeah.
And then
good luck.
That's it.
Yeah. We didn't have any idea what happened next.
Nope.
But now we do.
Now we do.
They're headed off to the freaking Half Moon trial.
Yeah. Which is the...
This one's wild.
3rd trial, right?
Out of
5? Question mark?
Question mark. Is it? I could reference back to my notes.
It's fine.
I know that there's 5 trials, and they're all the phases of the moon. So that feels right in the middle.
Wait, maybe it's the 4th.
It perhaps is. No, it's the 3rd.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're in the 3rd trial, which again makes sense because it's half. It's in the middle of all the rest.
The Half Moon trial.
Half Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Duh.
Come on.
Jeez.
Yeah. Anyways, before they head into this trial, though, Araya's like having a dream, or like hallucinating. It's confusing to me. We find out kind of why, probably, but she dreams of her former lover.
Yeah.
But also a vampire that's terrifying that she doesn't know.
Yeah. With feathers and.
Is this a baddie that we find out about later with Rain?
Oh.
I feel like it is.
It must be, yeah.
The Rashans are the ones with the feathered wings.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even think about that until just now.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
I just kind of assumed that... I don't know.
Well, because as we come to find in this Half Moon trial, they're like connected right now.
Mm-hmm.
Or about to be anyway.
Yeah.
So I feel like his hallucination and dream is going into hers.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what else would he be afraid of? There was a freaking foreshadow hint.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We missed it.
We did.
Right at the freaking beginning.
Shoot.
Dang.
I had no idea about that or thought about it till just now.
Yeah.
But in this dream, the lover of hers has a hole in his chest.
Yeah.
And we don't know what happened to him yet.
Yeah.
So I was like, he must have been staked.
And it's very ominous.
Yeah.
He's like, did you miss me?
Yeah.
But like in a really creepy way.
Yeah. Sus. Weird vibes. But then she wakes up. Mm-hmm. And she has a mind bond with Rain.
And he's yelling at her to calm down because she's kind of panicking.
I mean, fair.
Yeah.
It's like dark. They can't see anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't imagine like experiencing another person's experience at the same time as your own.
Yeah, and also just the like disorienting I don't know what word I'm looking for. The disorientation of, like, coming out of this dream.
Yeah.
To then someone screaming at you and you can't see anything. And it's just, all of it is a lot.
Yeah. It'd be very intense.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure, like, not knowing that they're bound. At first, she's like, he's in the room with me, maybe.
Yeah.
But no, he's not. They are connected at the brains.
Mm-hmm.
And they find out that they're in cells. Like, they're trapped in a cell, each of them.
They got to figure out how to get out and find each other.
Yeah. And Raya's, like, feeling around the wall, and she finds a little button or something. And they go barreling out. But they can see and feel and hear everything that the other person is feeling, and hearing.
Yeah.
See, feeling, hearing. How do you even try to begin to make sense of any of that?
Yeah.
I feel like that's more disorienting than anything.
Absolutely.
Like, how are you paying attention to your own surroundings when you're also seeing somebody else's?
Yeah, and feeling everything they feel, and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot.
And, like, dealing with your own panic on top of someone else's panic.
I know.
No, thank you.
Hefty no.
No.
All of their feelings, all of their... thoughts. Like, they are learning a lot about each other in this experience. That's a lot. That's an expose on each other. I'm sorry. But when they get out, they see that, like, most of the other cells are still closed.
Yeah.
But it's just carnage. There's a bunch of, like, demon beasts.
There's demons.
There's beasties everywhere.
Yeah, there was some that were, like, the same as what they dealt with in the last trial.
Which were the, like...
The bloodborne demons.
The blood vamps who were cursed.
And there's I swear she said something about, like, bears or something.
Yeah, there were, like, a whole host of freaking beasts of different varieties. So it wasn't just these demons that they've seen before.
Yeah.
They have to battle through a bunch of beasts. And it looks like there's, like, a wall, or it sounds like there's a wall in the middle of the Colosseum or whatever they're fighting in. And they have to make it to the top of said wall. Yeah. But they're on opposite sides of it. Rain and Araya are. Yeah. So they just start busting through.
Yeah, trying to get to each other.
Busting.
Yikes.
So they start fighting opposite sides of the wall. And they got to get to the goal. But Angelica comes for Rain.
Yeah, in between that, too, there's, like, some of the contestants are, like, losing their minds. Like, going crazy, and Araya, like, through her mind asks Rain what's going on. And he's like, well, some people can't handle the, like, mind meld that's happening. Yeah. So why can this human handle it, but the vampires can't? Is my question.
Who knows? She is fancy. She has the freaking hellfire. That's not what it's called. Is it? Is it hellfire?
I think it's
hellfire. All right, great. She's got magic. Yeah. And she's a human and has survived this long. Which is impressive. Yeah. But yeah, they're losing their damn minds. That'd probably be me. Let's be honest.
Same.
I already have enough of my own voice in my head.
I wonder, too, there's people who have more than one ally, right?
I think so.
So do they all share a mind?
Yeah.
Are they all
How many people are you trying to get up in there?
You got, like, 4 allies and you have 5 people in your brain?
Yeah. No, thank you. Or I wonder if it's paired off or not.
I don't know. What if it's an odd number?
Yeah. Yeah. What if it is? Somebody's got at least a couple.
Yeah.
I would lose my mind also.
I can barely even handle my own brain.
Yeah, facts. There's already enough dialogue as it is. Mm-hmm. Let alone with strangers in there. Yeah. I guess they're allies, so less strangers. Excuse me.
So
just disregard, okay? We had dinner right before this. We made bad decisions. Anywho's it. Angelica starts coming after Rain.
She does.
Angelica, again, is the freaking House of Blood leader. Mm-hmm. And she's definitely cursed. Yeah. But not yet a demon. And she starts coming out Rain outside of him. Out of him. No,
is she didn't. Out of his butt or
which place? How? Belly button for sure.
I was gonna say ear.
Oh.
Or nostril. It's coming out of her nostril.
Each
his
of them.
nostril.
Your nostril. We're getting real weird immediately. Anyway, they're fighting.
Yeah.
And Rain is already injured, so he's struggling
Yeah.
to, like, keep up with her. And then Araya starts to notice that, like, she felt his injury.
Mm-hmm.
And so she puts together that if she injures or downs Angelica's partner, Ivan, then Angelica will also be hurt.
Yeah.
And so that's what she freaking does.
Yep, she goes after him.
Goes after good old Ivan.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts blood magicking her.
Yeah. The blood magic is insane,
It's
dude.
wild.
And terrifying.
I know. I am trying to picture what actually happens there.
I know.
Like, I feel like they just pull blood out of your body.
I feel like I don't know. I don't know.
What's the answer here?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's doing blood stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he, like, they're fighting. And she looks up because there's 2 doors on top of this wall or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And one of them is the right door and the other one's, like, the bad one to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's gone through them yet. And so she gets distracted because somebody's up there.
Mm-hmm.
And they pick the wrong door.
Yeah.
Sucks to suck, dudes.
Yeah.
Pick better next time, except you can't! But she gets distracted by that, and Ivan, like...
That's gotta suck to be the first person.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, now everyone knows which door's the right door.
I know, I feel like I would wait.
Yeah, same.
But also you can't, because you're also fighting for
It's
your
true.
life.
Yeah. Did you say wife?
Life?
It
Did I say
sounded like
wife?
you said fighting for your wife.
Yeah, you know, they all have wives at home.
Yeah.
They gotta fight for them. Even Araya.
Yeah.
But with this distraction, Ivan takes his shot and stabs her in the side.
Yeah.
And, like, kicks her over into the beasts.
Yeah. And Rain yells.
Yeah, because he
He's
can
like,
feel that
"Oh,
crap.
Araya!
Oh, jeez. Why'd you get stabbed in
Oh.
the side? Now I'm stabbed in the side.
Why you don't do that?
Why?
Meanwhile, he's still trying to take down Angelica.
Yeah.
And he's failing.
Yeah, I think he, like, gets out of her grasp and goes to find Araya. Because
Yeah.
she's now being tackled by beasts.
Yeah.
They're about to tear her apart.
Yeah.
They're all in bloodlust and ready to eat her. And he comes running for her and tells her to use her magic. I have a quote. I don't know what it says. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
Great.
What page?
247.
Cool. I wonder if it's the same one I have.
It may be. It might just be. It's kind of dark. Okay, I found it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so his Rain is, like, coming for her. They're talking in their brains.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I'm with you right now. You don't have time. We'll go together. All right, I'm with you. Out of context, I'm like, what? Now, I let myself think of him for the first time in so many years. Let myself think of my parents crushed in a broken building in a war that had nothing to do with them. Let myself think of a little lost girl with dark hair hunted in a maze. A little girl who's with dark hair left alone in a ruined city. Let myself think of a lifetime spent here trapped by my own fear, trapped by these fucking predators, these monsters, these things that didn't see me as anything other than livestock. And then I realized that fear, when embraced, hardens and sharpens, that it becomes rage, that it becomes power. I would not die here. I let my fury explode. I let it spill out through my mouth and my eyes and my fingers and the tips of my hair. Let it erupt all the way to the sky, past the stars, the moon, reaching for Nyaxia herself, and I felt her reach back. The night fire roared through me, surrounding me in a blanket of light and heat and power. It consumed everything. The demon, the hellhounds, the vampires consumed my skin, my eyes, consumed above all my anger. I would not die here!
It was the same quote I had.
Was it?
It was.
Exactly the same?
Yeah.
Wow. Look at us go.
Yeah, it's like we're the same person.
I know,
something.
weird. But that's, like, wild.
Yeah.
She has this, like, grand revelation. Because she's been trying to freaking harness
Yeah.
this hellfire for some time now.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I gotta use my emotions.
Yeah.
Funnel it into the power.
Which, didn't someone tell her that? Like, use your rage to
Maybe.
trigger your magic.
I
And she
don't
didn't
remember.
listen. I feel like Mish told her that.
That's probably true.
Yeah. See what would happen if you would just listen to people.
Come on, Araya.
I might be totally wrong. I don't know.
Jeez. I don't remember it all. So you could be wrong or you could be very right. But she hellfires the crap out of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And reaches the top.
Yep.
And Rain's coming, like, right up next to her
Yep.
and hugs her. Mm-hmm. He embraces her at the top. He's so excited that she's alive. And he looked at her like a goddess, is what she said. Like she was a goddess. He's like, damn, girl, check out that hellfire.
I have a little quote I want to read.
Okay.
Rain. He was on his knees staring up at me, and the way he looked at me was the first thing that felt real. Real and raw and confusing. Because he looked at me in sheer awe, like I was the most incredible thing he had ever seen. Like I was a fucking goddess.
Hell yeah, Raya.
Get it, girl.
Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Anyway. Yeah. And then she, like, catches a glimpse of Vincent up in the stands, and it seems like he'd been crying. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he expected her to be eaten.
Yeah.
And then she wasn't. And he's, like, shook.
Yeah.
He's got a little single tear.
Yeah. He obviously loves her, so.
Yeah, but he's also sus as hell, as we talked about last episode. What's up with Vincent? Come on. He's got ulterior motives. This guy.
Oh, you're talking about Vincent?
Yeah.
I was talking about Rain.
I was wondering why you're looking at me so strangely. She's like, what are you saying? I mean, that's kind of also true for Rain, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we say spoilers.
Is it a spoiler if we talk about it in this episode anyways?
No, probably not.
I wanted to make sure.
Probably not. We can just skip and hop around, get weird. What?
Nothing.
What were we going to say?
Why are we talking about Vincent?
Well, last episode, we were talking about how suspicious he seems.
I know, but why'd you bring him up right now?
Well, because he was in the stands crying.
Oh, that's right. My memory and brain, real bad today.
Real bad.
I haven't slept enough this week.
I feel you.
Yeah.
My teething child. But then there's an interlude. Mm-hmm. And this one's kind of rough. This is the one where Araya loses her virginity.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we finally learned a little more about the lover.
The secret vamp lover.
Yeah.
Who she very much thought she was in love with. Mm-hmm. Like, she felt it. And she was like, felt safe with him. And
yeah.
Even though he was a young vampire. He was, like, recently turned or something.
Yeah. I think he's just a couple years vampire old.
Yeah. Yeah. And a couple years older than her.
Yeah.
Generally.
Yeah.
And so they, can't get enough of each other and decide to take it all away. Go to home base.
Take it all the way home.
Pass go.
Do not go to jail.
Yeah. Maybe he should have.
I mean,
yeah. Well, his fate is pretty brutal.
It's true.
But
he deserved it, though.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
But also, she was kind of dumb.
Well, yeah.
They're all kind of dumb.
But that doesn't...
He couldn't control it. Anyway, what happens is... they go to, take it home.
Yeah.
And he gets into bloodlust frenzy.
Yeah, he loses his mind.
He, smells her blood.
Yeah.
From the loss.
Yeah.
Of the V card.
Yeah.
And attacks her. Starts suckling her neck and can't stop. Terrible.
Yikes. Sorry, everybody.
And she can't stop him, so she, bangs him over the head with a candelabra.
Yeah.
I mean, did the trick.
Yeah.
He, got off and was immediately apologetic. And she left and went to Vincent. Mm-hmm. Which, that was a choice. I feel like you can't expect him to do anything but retaliate, right?
No.
Come on. He's the freaking king.
Come on.
Of the Hiyaj.
And also, she's his daughter.
Uh-huh.
So.
Yeah. What else would he do? But anyway, she goes and, cries to him.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, she says in this interlude, or it says, it's not from her point of view, that, she had no idea what his plan truly was, or something along those lines. She doesn't know what to expect after all that.
Yeah. The end of the interlude says, he made a decision in that moment. The young woman did not know it, not yet.
Yeah. These interludes are interesting.
They are. Why? They paint a very dark picture, too. Every time. I'm like, scandalous.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Why's it gotta be, in third person? I guess it's not really her memory so much as it is like a little small excerpt.
I guess.
But you're not even saying Araya. It's just a girl.
The woman. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
But then, we're back to the story. Only 11 of them.
Only 11.
Made it past that freaking half-moon trial.
Yeah.
The rest got eaten by demons.
That's crazy.
I know.
We went from like, how many were at the beginning?
Hundreds, I'm pretty sure. I feel like the first, maybe that's dramatic. I think there were 50.
Sure.
At least.
I was thinking 40.
Once they got to the house, I think there was like around 50 or something.
Okay.
So, a good amount.
Yeah.
Compared to 11.
Yeah. It's a lot of dead people.
Yeah. Vampies.
Yeah.
And they're down to less than half the people, and they still have 2 more freaking trials.
Mm-hmm.
That's intense. Weed them out quickly.
Yeah. And I think it said that like half of them have to die in this next trial, or maybe that was this last one. Like half the people have to die in this trial before the last trial.
Yeah. One of them half. Yeah. Maybe it's the next one.
One of them half, yeah.
Yeah, obviously, Sarah. Come on.
Obviously.
And Angelica, Ivan, and Ibrahim are included in this.
Mm-hmm.
And
when they get back to the Moon Palace, the minister is waiting for them.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone.
Yeah.
And that's like not a thing that's happened yet.
No.
So it's
I don't
odd.
like this guy.
I don't either.
He's a big creep.
Yeah.
Big old creep.
Big old creep.
Big old creep. Is he there to say they're going to have a feast? No.
No.
He's just like, dudes.
Y'all are the finalists.
For the last 2 trials.
Our Dark Mother is very pleased with you.
Our Dark Mother. And everyone is looking at Araya differently after her big display of power.
There is a feast.
Oh, okay. So it is the feast time.
Yeah.
But they're all looking at her like, dang, girl, didn't know you had it in you. Also, I'm kind of afraid of you, and I still want to eat you.
Yeah. And I want to kill you.
Yeah. Well, eat and kill. One and the same.
I mean, we learned from the minister that you can eat and not kill.
Ugh. He gives me the ick.
We might learn that from Rain, too.
What? I'm just kidding. Anywho. There is a feast. And he's like, the palace will provide some weird cryptic messaging.
Which this isn't the first time he said that.
Yeah. Why is the palace so fancy? I mean, I know that its only use is for the Kajari at this point. Like, nobody actually habitats it.
Inhabitats.
It is no one's habitat.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just real magical.
I guess.
But
kind of weird.
A little bit.
It gives me, hear me out. Did you ever watch the movie Smart House on Disney Channel?
I don't think so. Is it a smart house?
Yeah.
Like a smartphone, but it's a house?
Yeah.
Oh.
Which I feel like if we were to watch it now, we'd be like, too real. But the house like loses her mind, and
the house loses
her mind? The house provides whatever they need.
It does.
But then she goes crazy.
The house does?
Yeah, because she thinks she's the mother.
Okay.
Of the children that live in the house.
This is weird, and I kind of feel like we have to watch it.
Next time I come over, and I'm here for more than just filming day.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm interested. You got me. I bet it's real bad.
I wonder if I'm remembering it correctly. Maybe the house doesn't lose her mind. But I'm pretty sure she does.
Okay.
And she, like, locks them in the house. It just sounds really creepy and ominous for a Disney Channel movie.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Yeah.
She locks them in herself.
Yeah.
Why is it a girl?
It's a woman.
Why
it's the mother.
A lady? But she's not.
Why is Alexa a lady? Why is Google a lady?
Are they all ladies? You can make a man.
My Google is a lady.
You can make it a woman.
I asked her. Listen.
Okay.
This literally has nothing to do with the podcast.
It's great.
However, I have a Google in my room, and I tell it at night I say goodnight, and it turns off all the lights. And so she would be like, I'd be like, hey Google, good night. And she'd be like, good night, Sarah. And then one night I was like, Sarah doesn't work for me. Hey, Google, will you call me bitch? And she was like, okay, I'll call you bitch from now on. But ever since I did that, she won't say good night, bitch, which is the only reason I did it. She will only say good night.
Well, that's rude.
I know.
Come on, Googs. Why are you being that way?
Any hoodle.
Do you want me to say goodnight, bitch, to you every night?
Yeah, please.
I'll give you a call.
You gotta send it in a voice memo.
Memo. You just gotta text me I'm going to bed, and I'll be like, good night, bitch.
Good night, bitch. Can you turn my lights off, too?
I can't, unfortunately, so you're gonna have to time it really well.
Fine.
Well, you can get the voicemail and don't press play until you say goodnight.
Hey, Google, good night. Good night, bitch.
I'll do it in different voices every time. This is going off the rails. Where are we? Who are we?
Anyways, the Moon Palace.
Right. It will provide.
She's a creepy smart house.
And she'll provide. But Rain and Araya go back to their apartment.
Yeah.
And, well, you see, Araya starts to see for sure that Rain truly cares about her after being in his brain. Mm-hmm. She's like, he does care about me. After I heard all his deepest, darkest thoughts. But he leaves because both of them are like knowing that one of them's got to die.
Yeah.
And they don't want to kill each other.
Yeah.
And he's like, I got to get out of here. So they separate ways. Mm-hmm. And Araya goes to get ready, and all of her shit's gone.
Yeah. And they only left her a dress.
Like a scandalous dress.
A scandalous dress made out of, like, the same fabric as Alana's scarf.
I know. That's kind of sweet.
No, it's kind of messed up. Like, rubbing it in. Haha, your friend's dead.
That's true. We killed your friend.
Yeah.
But here's a reminder of her.
Yeah.
And that was the only thing they left in the pack, too, was the scrap of silk that Alana gave her. This episode is wild already.
This is gonna be a fun one.
So yeah, she has a scandalous dress. She's got some healing potions, some bandages. So the house truly did provide.
Yeah.
But then she has this wild ass dress, and she's like, dude, I never wear this shit because it draws attention to me.
Yeah.
But she wears it because, she doesn't have a choice. And then the feast is at Nyaxia's temple in the city. The one that she had to go to see the freaking minister.
Yeah.
Why is it minister?
I don't know.
We don't need to know, I guess.
Because it's fantasy.
They have to make it complicated.
Add an A.
For no true reason other than it feels like necessary in a fantastical world.
I guess.
All right, well, I'm going to call you Sarah. That's an extra A.
All right, and I'm going to call you Danielle. I'll call you Danielle L.
Daniel. Takeaway letters for me.
No, you're Danielle L.
Okay, I'll take it.
Danielle L. I'm adding the A in a really weird spot. I could call you Daniela.
No! Danielle Ale.
I guess that is how...
Daniel Ale.
Daniel Ale.
That sounds pretty fantastical to me. All right. Anyway, guys, someone
we gotta
needs
write a
to
book.
reel us in. Reel us. I promise we're not inebriated.
I'm drunk on Taco Bell.
Taco Bell and lack of sleep. Brought to you by. So anyway, she goes to the freaking temple. She feels hella exposed because of this dress. And who's there, Sarah? Who's there?
Hang on. I'll tell you in a second.
I could tell you if you want. Starts with a V.
It's Vincent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's there.
Yeah.
With all his kingly air marks flaunting around.
Yeah, and he's being kind of a D-bag.
Is he?
I thought. I'd be wrong.
Yeah, well, he seems super tense and tired and doesn't want to talk about it. He avoids her questions at all costs.
Oh, yeah, because she asks him about Rain. And she's like, I asked you not to
break him,
and you did.
Yeah, what's that about?
And Vincent's like, well, I don't monitor Jasmine's...
Yeah.
Jasmine?
Jasmine?
Jasmine's actions.
Uh-huh. And I'm like, but you're
But you're the king.
Her boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you give her an order not to break this man, then she shouldn't.
Yeah.
So obviously you didn't give the order.
You didn't give two shits about Rain.
Jerk.
Come on, V-Dog. Freaking Vincey. We adjusted our glasses aggressively for those listening.
Yeah.
But he's avoiding everything.
Yeah.
But then he's like, hey, hear me out. You want to dance? I know I didn't answer anything for you, but you want to dance with good old Pops? And she's like, well, shit, I guess. And in this, Araya remembers the one and only time that she flew with him. Mm-hmm. He took her flying one time. And it was just, like, off a balcony to the ground or something. And she, like, gets sentimental thinking about this. And I got a quote. Okay. Let's see what it is. I didn't even bracket it.
Well, Patreon.
266.
Cool.
Page 266. Oh, it's very straightforward and short. Okay. But Vincent is also feeling kind of sentimental at this point. And he's like, I can't take credit for everything that you've become, Araya, even if sometimes I wish I could. But if I'm responsible for just one small piece of that, it will have been the greatest accomplishment of my life. We both stopped moving, and I was grateful for it because I would have tripped over my feet in pure shock. He had never, ever spoken this way to me. Not once, not ever. In desperate times, one thinks about all the things they haven't said, and yesterday when I saw you fall, I realized that perhaps I never said that to you. It occurred to me that perhaps you didn't know that you did not know how much I... And then he kind of shrugs it off. He's like, it was important for me to tell you that. Like you might say I love you. Mm-hmm. But he's like, no, can't do that. I'm too powerful of a king. I won't
tell you I love you until you're a vampire, not a measly little human.
You're gross right now. I only love you because you might become a vampire.
Yeah.
I don't like Vincent.
I don't either.
It just gets worse, too.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
But then Araya sees Rain pass by.
Yep. She follows him outside, right?
After another dance.
Oh, right.
Vincent's like...
He sees her, like, making eyes at Rain.
He's like, well, give me one more and then you can go.
Yeah.
No, Vincent. But she does. So she goes follows him. Quit judging me.
I wasn't judging you. My God.
You were giving me the same brows my daughter does.
I wasn't even looking at you.
You were a second before that. Anyway, what the hell were you going to say, Sarah? I'm sorry. I derailed you.
What was I going to say?
We were talking about Rain.
Yeah.
And her going out to find him. Mm-hmm. After giving Vincent a dance.
Oh, I imagine Vincent being like the creepy father, in quotes I say.
Yeah.
Who, like, while he's dancing with his daughter, kind of has his hands on her butt.
Little handsy?
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah.
He's a creep.
Yeah.
He's creepy. I know he's a vampire, but, like...
He's a creep.
He's a creep.
Yeah.
And we only find out more.
Yeah.
About this freaking toolbox.
Yeah.
Toolbox. But she goes outside. And she sees the freaking bloodborne vamps hanging out. Mm-hmm. And the guy that she saw by the water that one time, who gave her
the box of cigarettes.
Cigarillos.
Yeah.
He's with him.
Yep. With Rain.
What's that about?
Yeah.
I think Rain comes after.
Oh, you're right. Sorry.
She, like,
He's
approaches
with the bloodborns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his name is Septimus.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Optimus Prime. Are you a Transformer, sir?
Yeah.
What the heck?
I thought the same thing the first time I saw his name.
Septimus? House of Blood Prince.
Septum.
Us. We have septums. We really need to get it together. We might not. This episode is going to be weird. This episode is going
to be unhinged.
It already has been.
I mean,
so
come on.
Buckle up again, because you need extra.
We need you to rebuckle.
But anyway, Septimus is creepy.
Yeah.
And he says that he, like, betted on Araya again. He's like, you just keep winning me money.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's supposed to be flattering or, like, stop betting on my death, you dingleberry. Mm-hmm. But then Rain approaches.
Yep. He's all, there you are. I've been looking for you.
Yeah. Rain does? Mm-hmm. Hey, girl. And Septum Prime, he starts like poking at Rain about stuff. He mentions Nessanin. That name is just wild to
It
me.
is, yeah.
Is that how you pronounce it? Did we talk about her before?
We didn't know. That is how I say her name. Nessanin.
That's a wild name.
Yeah.
Y'all need to relax.
I'm going to name my next cat Nessanin.
Nessanin. Are you?
No.
All right. So he pokes at him about Nessanin. He says, like, something along the lines of, like, you don't want Araya to become another Nessanin or something? Or is that right now? Or is it later?
No, he says, now that I can't place my bets on the two of you together, I wonder who I should put my silver on next. Someone uneducated might think it would be easy for you to kill her, Rain, but I think Nessanin has a good chance of... Oh, I'm sorry. Another one of those smiles. It's Araya, isn't it? I've always been bad with names.
Yeah, I'm sure that was accidental.
Absolutely.
It totally wasn't a dig. That sucks. The tabs definitely pull off some of the ink sometimes.
Well, he pulled off paper. Look at it.
Yeah, I see that.
Freaking rude.
Rude. Our annotating tabs did Sarah's book dirty. But Rain's like, all right. All right, can we get out of here?
To get her.
Oh, no. That's part of my worry of taking out all the tabs.
Yeah.
We tab heavily for podcast books.
Yeah. I only took it out because I couldn't read what was under it.
That's fair.
It's dark in here.
And now you can't either. I'm just kidding. It's destroyed. You didn't need a new one.
You're right.
Book math.
Yeah, but the new one will be free.
Right.
Because
you've already spent the money.
Yeah.
So, obviously. But Rin's like, you want to get the hell out of here?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not trying to hang out with this guy. And so they go get piss beer.
They do.
They go to the dingy old pub that he took her before and get some beer and, like, sit on the roof or something.
Yeah.
And they want each other.
Yeah, they do.
They're both, like, eyeing each other.
Yeah, and doesn't he, like, have a hand on her leg or something? Or their legs are touching?
He's looking at her leg.
Yeah.
She has a big, like, slit up the side of her dress.
Her dress is scandalous as hell.
It's, like, riding up her thigh. And he's like, ooh, look at that thigh meat.
Ooh, that's a hot thigh.
Ooh, that kneecap, though. But they're definitely checking each other out.
Yeah.
They're scoping him out. He's got like a fancy, ridiculous, ornate... I'm sorry, I was flapping my hands so much. And then I had to keep doing it for my YouTube viewers. Sorry about it.
Oh, man.
We're getting nowhere fast. He's wearing a very ornate Rashawn getup.
Yeah.
Like, it's way fancier and out of date.
Yeah.
Than anything he'd normally wear. But anyway, he asks her, oh yeah, before she left in her dress, she tied the silk around her neck.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of silk, even though it has a blood stain.
Yeah.
And Rain asks her about it, and she's like, well, a friend gave it to me.
Yeah, and she tells him about her.
Yeah, and they talk about how, like, it smells like the House of the Blood. Nope.
No, the Moon Palace.
Two entirely different things.
Very.
But he's like, it also smells like her. Like, I can still smell...
Yeah, he says, like, he can smell the rose and the cigar.
Yeah.
And she had mentioned earlier that she couldn't smell those things anymore.
Yeah, she doesn't have the sick-ass vamp scent.
I know.
Alana.
That's really sweet.
Listen, I want to be sad about it, but we also don't know Alana at all.
No, I'm just sad for Araya.
I know.
I'm not, like, heartbroken because Alana's dead. I just feel bad for Araya.
I like the change in your soft voice.
Thanks. Yeah. And then Araya asks Rain about Nessanin. She's like, who the hell's Nessanin?
Does she?
She does. Yeah.
What's he say?
He says, she's an old friend who deserves more respect than to be used as some prick's pathetic attempt at intimidation. That's all.
So that's all we got.
So yeah, he doesn't tell her anything.
Yeah. They also have a talk about, like, what they're going to do if they win. She asks Rain what he's going to do. Or he does.
Yeah. Her asking about Nessanin was before they went to get piss beer. Sorry.
Oh, shoot. That's all right. We backtracked. We just decided to not say that until now. It was intentional. But I have a quote on page 278 if that grounds you at all.
Okay.
Rain asks Raya if she's going to be turned if she wins.
Yeah.
Like, just flat out asks her. And he's like, you're going to miss your humanity. Like, don't do it. And she tells him that he hasn't fully lost his. This is actually sweet. Page 278. They have a cute exchange. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
278. Araya says, you don't think that I see how hard you've worked to hold on to your humanity? You're more human than I am, Rain. You've kept every part of it that makes you value the things in this shitty world that no one else here does. You've kept the compassion. It doesn't matter if your blood runs black. That hasn't changed you. And then he goes on to say, after they have this, like, look and shared stuff, and he gives her a look, and she's like, what? And he's like, nothing. But then he's like, I've lived through some injustices in the last couple of centuries, seen some fucking travesties, but one of the biggest, Araya, is that anyone taught you that you should become anything other than exactly what you are. Sweet.
I know.
So they're getting deep now.
They are. They're definitely, like, building something.
Yeah, they like each other.
They do.
They got a crush.
I'm pretty sure.
They want to touch butts.
I'm pretty sure she wants to smooch him.
She does.
Yeah.
I mean, especially after they're saying sweet nothings.
Yeah.
But they decide to take a walk.
They do.
And they both know one of them's got to die, and they have this weird standoff moment. And Rain, like, stops on the side of the street and brings her close and is essentially giving her, like, an open window to kill him. He offers himself up to her. She says he smells like the sky. And they...
What does the sky smell like?
I don't know. It's a great question. Yeah, how do you smell the sky? The air is just around us all the time.
Right. Wouldn't it?
Do we need to go up to the sky
same?
and smell it?
Can we?
I don't know how we do that. We can't, like, sniff out a window in a plane.
True.
Skydiving.
No, absolutely not.
I'm going to do that one day.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I want to do it.
All right. Have fun. Let me know how that goes for you.
I will. I'm sure.
We need to just grow some feathered wings real quick so we can fly on up there.
It didn't work.
Did you poop?
I was trying to push out my wings, Sarah.
Right.
But no, I didn't poop.
My question stands.
The answer is no. I'm intact.
I don't know why you're...
I don't really know what that means.
Well, I know that for dogs, when you say they're intact, it means they still have their balls.
They have not been neutered.
Yeah. I don't remember.
Smells like the sky.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We're just wondering.
On a tangent.
What does the sky smell like, friends?
Yeah. Could you tell me?
Yeah.
Does anyone have wings?
Give us a description.
Could you fly me up there?
That would be even better. Where's Reese when you need him?
Rain will do too.
Yeah, I guess. He's no recent.
No.
But anyway, Sarah. They freaking kiss.
They do.
Araya kisses him.
I know.
She gives him a big old smooch.
Yeah.
And they decide to stick together for now. And so,
Rain asks her if she's going to kill him. And her response is, not tonight.
Not tonight.
And that's one time of many she says that.
Yeah.
Or maybe just two. I don't know.
I think it's twice, but maybe there's more. I don't remember.
I think it's only two.
Okay. Well, he, like, talks about leaving, and she's like, no, it's fine. It's fine.
Just stay.
That's fine. So they just keep living in the apartment together. And at one point, Araya, like, sees him naked in bed. She's spying on him.
Yeah.
It's a little creepy. And she's like, ooh, hot doggy. She's admiring him, thinking of his hot tot bod. And like, imagines killing him. But then her thought process goes to what it'd feel like to be on top of him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, relax.
Well, yeah, because she's imagining herself getting on top of him to stab him through the heart.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, but wait.
Yeah.
I like this position.
I'd like to get on top of him for something else entirely. And she doesn't want to kill him, obviously. Neither of them do. And Rain cooks for her. And she's like, damn, dude. It's good.
Yeah, Mish had told Araya that Rain is a good cook, and she was like, okay.
Sure, for a freaking vampire, maybe. But he, like, knew or remembered enough from his human times to cook well.
Yeah.
Even if he can't really taste it anymore. He's like, Mish was, younger than me, so she had a better sense of taste.
Better. Which is weird that it, like, fades more and more over time.
That's weird.
It's very interesting.
The older you get, the less you can taste things other than blood.
Bummer, dude.
Maybe blood starts tasting better.
Maybe.
Maybe
it tastes like chicken. Or like whatever the person who you're drinking from ate that night for dinner.
That'd be weird.
Tastes like stew.
Stew blood. Yeah, but then my mind goes to like blending a meal, and that's really upsetting.
It's true. Yeah. No, it's just like seasoned
with
blood.
Stew. A stew season. All right. Well, anyhow.
Yeah.
She is like crumbling at its deliciousness, and Rain says something along the lines of like, I didn't think this is the first time you'd come.
The first time.
And she's like, wait a minute, I'm kind of offended. You assume it's my first time, and I didn't come.
God.
And then he freaking tells her that he's gonna go see Mish.
And she asks if she can come.
And he's like, yeah, I think she'd like that.
Yeah.
Mish.
I know. I'm excited to see her again.
I love Mish. I'm kind of sad that she was pulled out so early.
Yeah, but I'm glad she doesn't have to die.
Yeah, for sure.
Because she would have had to.
Yeah. But still, I like Mish.
I do too.
But she's safe and sound. What? What?
I wonder.
What?
I'm going to say it because
we're
going to talk about all this anyways. I wonder if she knew about Rain. And what we find out at the end of this.
I think so.
Because she was the one who, like...
pushed him into the...
Yeah, exactly.
I think so. Well, yeah, probably. He knew about it.
I know.
So,
but he never told Araya about it.
Yeah, I know, but that was the enemy's daughter.
True. That's very true.
Yeah. And Misha's just like his best friend. So
yeah.
Probably, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
If I had to imagine.
You must imagine.
Imagine the possibilities.
Yeah.
That could be one. Yeah, probably.
You're right.
Probably. Well, and the people that she's staying with are like...
Oh, yeah.
They show up at the end.
Yeah, you're right. All right, shit.
Jeez,
dude, you don't have to, like, do that.
You asked a question and I answered it.
Next time, don't.
All right, I won't.
I'm just kidding.
Be silent. Play a cricket sound.
Trip, trip.
I don't know how to make a cricket noise.
Episode.
Yeah, we're really off the rails today. But then they fly. They go to fly and see Mish. They're flying for hours.
Yeah.
They finally get there. Araya loves the flying. And this is when Reese... Whoa. It's not Reese. Rain is another R name.
Down.
R's.
R.
Rain says something along the lines of Raya's will being like steel. Pure fucking steel. And he says, obviously. And in her mind, she says, obviously. And it just made me think of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. That happens.
Obviously.
But when they get there, they're greeted by, Carissa and Keturah.
And Keturah, yeah.
Great.
Carissa.
Keturah.
Keturah. Keturah.
Keturah. Yep, anyway, those two, C and K.
Keturah.
And they're kind of standoffy and suspicious of Araya.
Yeah.
They're like, you brought her ill.
Yeah.
Sick. And so they just kind of move on past him.
Yep.
Go see Mishi. And she's stoked.
Yeah.
Mishi's
She
stoked.
gets up and throws herself at Rain.
Yeah.
After he's like, don't do it.
Yeah.
She's still
healing
and sickly.
Yeah, she got hella messed up.
Yeah.
That's not good.
I mean, she was like seconds away from death, I feel like.
For sure. All the hellfire and whatnot. It can't be good. But she's also happy to see Araya and like gives her a hug too.
No.
Oh.
Araya doesn't let her hug her.
Oh,
She's
that's
still
right.
all weird about it.
Yeah, she doesn't like being touched. I mean, if that last interlude is any reason, you know.
True, yeah.
She's
and vampires are, strong.
spooky. Well, and she imagines after that encounter that all of them, like, can't control themselves around human blood.
Yeah.
But they have a cute standoff or conversation. What?
She lets Rain carry her and fly her for hours.
But that was recent. When they first started training, she wouldn't even, be near him, you know?
True. But it's Mish.
I know.
I love
You would
Mish.
think that Mish would be an exception.
Yeah.
But whatever, Araya, jeez.
Stuck up.
Yeah, call.
Just kidding.
But Mish is excited to see them both and hear about the trial that they went through.
Mm-hmm.
And then she just sort of wishes them luck. And they go on their freaking merry way. Well, Araya sticks back for a sec while Rain goes downstairs.
Yeah. Mish said... They tell her about the trial, and so obviously they tell her about Araya's magic.
Yeah.
And Mish says, that shy magic of yours came through for you. I told you it was in you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because...
What did I say earlier that I was like, didn't Mish tell her?
To use a rage.
Oh.
I don't know if she did or not.
I don't know.
But, yeah, when they were talking about their magic before, Araya had asked her, how do you harness the sun or fire?
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know, it's just in me.
Yeah.
Because she was a freaking priestess.
Mm-hmm.
She wishes him luck. And Rain's already downstairs.
Yeah.
Her and Misha are alone. And they're about to head back to the palace. But Araya overhears Rain talking to Carissa and Keturah.
Mm-hmm.
And they're talking about how Vincent is just freaking slaying and slaughtering Rashans. And that basically Araya is his whore.
Mm-hmm.
His little pet.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Mm.
In a different book.
Indeed it does. They also tell Rain that someone named Vale is on his way.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh.
They do.
Really?
Bringing his new wife.
Okay.
From Dara.
Cool.
Who is or was, we don't know, human.
Got it.
And I assume Vale is a vampire.
Okay. So this was more foreshadowing, perhaps, that I just did not retain at all.
The name, though. Is
I
that
don't
a name
remember
that I
seeing
recognize
them.
from the end?
Maybe they're just gathering people.
Could be.
For the possibility of freaking showing up later.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, interesting.
That's what Rain said. Literally. Interesting.
I don't even remember that part of the book, and I'm quoting him.
And then Karis says that Araya shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, when they talk about her being Vincent's whore.
Yeah, and how Vincent is slaying bitches.
Yeah.
Out here slaying. And she finally comes down, and as they leave, Rain, knows that she was listening. He's like, you caught all that, huh? And he says that he used to command Carissa and Keturah. But he doesn't think of that, her... Wow, he doesn't think of her like that anymore.
Yeah.
As being a pet.
Mm-hmm.
Or Vincent's whore. Or whatever.
He also tells her that Keturah's extra sensitive right now because her wife is in the place Salinay, where Araya's from.
Mm-hmm.
And she's scared and worried.
Yeah.
Because of all the things that are going down.
Yeah, it's Rashawn territory.
Yeah.
And the king is pissed.
Yeah.
He's trying to get vengeance. But then they get back to the freaking palace. And they wake up the next day or something. And the palace is locked.
Yeah. They're trapped.
From the outside.
Yeah.
They can't get out.
They are trapped.
And there's no more food.
The first thing they do is go to the kitchen. There's no food or blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a problem.
Yeah.
The house is no longer providing.
Yeah.
The smart house broke. Palace.
She's locked them in.
Which came first? The
Carissa
movie, probably.
Broadbent copied. I'm just kidding.
Geez.
Not facts.
Not facts. Do not cite me.
Don't sue me, please. Carissa.
Yep. I don't think she'll be hearing this, but
Hey.
you never know.
I don't need an internet scandal.
Or do we? Fame and notoriety. Just kidding. But yeah, the place is freaking locked down. There's no more food. And Rain and Araya, like, barricade themselves inside their apartment because the vampires are on the hunt.
Yeah.
They can hear them, like, walking back and forth outside the door.
Yeah.
They know that freaking Araya is, well, obviously a human and inside the apartment.
And she's the only human.
Yeah. That would be a bad time.
Yeah.
For Araya.
This, again, goes back to the end of the book, but I would imagine that human blood tastes very different than vampire blood. Like, does vampire blood give you the same sustenance if you drink it?
Probably not.
Probably not, right?
Well, it's like dead blood. Maybe they need live blood.
I guess.
But they can drink animals and things.
Yeah. But there's no animals in the palace.
I don't imagine they can eat each other.
No.
I don't think vampire cannibalism is a thing.
Oh, okay.
Unless it is.
Maybe.
But I don't think it would give them any nutrients.
I don't know.
It would just make them want to jump each other's bones.
Oh, yeah, because it does that. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they're all banging all the time.
Any hoodle.
Any hooty hoo. They barricade themselves in. And Araya... Tonight's weird, dudes. Dudes.
This is going to be a real fun one.
But they've barricaded.
Yeah.
And Araya decides to be real cute and set up a mirror for Rain and, like, situates it as, like, so that he can watch the sunrise.
Yeah. Without having to be in it.
Yeah.
And hurting himself.
And he just does that every day now.
Yeah.
He just sits in front of him.
There's, like, a very specific corner that he has to stand in the hallway to
avoid the light.
The sunlight.
Yeah.
But it's so sweet.
It's so cute.
I know.
He misses being human a lot. And then when what?
Nothing.
Oh.
When he comes out after she, like, moves all of the things just right, he says, "Oh, well, it finally happened. You've lost your mind."
She did have to move around a bunch of furniture and shit to make it just right, which is so cute. But then Orion notices that one of these nights notices that Rain's out of blood.
Yeah.
She, like, sees him take the last gulp.
Yeah.
And
It's been 3 weeks.
yeah, it's been
They've
time.
been locked in here for 3 weeks.
In their own apartment, I imagine.
They're not going out.
Yeah, they're not trying to face the other vampies. They're still training every day and stuff, but
Yeah.
yeah. And he hasn't shown any signs, or she just hasn't been very perceptive, let's be real.
Well, and he said, I don't think we talked about this. He had, like, stocked up on stuff, so he got her food and
Yeah.
had blood, and she asked him if he had enough, and he was like, yeah, I'll get through.
Yeah.
So she wasn't worried about it because she trusted him.
Yeah. He was lying
Liar.
through his teeth,
I mean, it's been 3 weeks. He made it 3 weeks without
eating her.
being super grumpy.
Yeah.
But now he's grumpy.
I know. He takes the last swig, and she's like, dude, you are starving, and I don't think you can be in here. Because, like, we're not okay. We can't pretend that this is okay. And she says to him, our dream world is nice, but it's not real. I don't want to be woken up from it by you tearing open my throat.
Yeah.
Which, like, kind of, it hurts him.
Yeah. It's valid concern, though.
For sure.
Because once he, like, crosses that threshold, there's no going back.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you can't just snap out of bloodlust.
No. And he's like, that would never happen. You know, you're safe with me.
Yeah.
But also her past would suggest otherwise. She doesn't trust anybody, especially a hungry vampy. And so he leaves.
Yep.
That water.
It was making a fun noise.
That was more of a pterodactyl.
Yeah.
He leaves. Which
He
I
does.
feel like it's not a good time to be alone as a human
Yeah, no.
in this palace.
But he leaves out the window,
Does he?
doesn't he? Oh, no, he goes out the door.
Yeah, he moves. I was
He
like,
goes out-
how? Because it's barricaded or locked.
He goes out the door. Oh, I feel like there was something that happened where the window was shattered or something.
Well, they can't get out. I'm assuming it's like magicked. They're stuck in the castle.
Anyways,
Anyway.
he leaves through the door.
Yeah.
And he's like, move this back out, or I leave. So, never
The
mind.
big, like, armoire.
Which, how the fuck is she supposed to move that by
I know.
herself?
Come on. You're probably the one who put it there. But that night, Orion dreams of the family. That was like the night that her family was killed and she was taken.
Yeah.
And then wakes up in a freaking forest. She's been magicked out of her apartment for the next trial. Wakes up in a forest. And there's like poisonous fog on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Or mist.
Yeah.
And she wakes up. It's like burning her skin. She like gets up panicking, obviously. Because you're in a weird forest now. Knowing that you're about to head into a trial. Because you just got magicked here.
Yeah.
And so you're alone. Surrounded by hungry vampires.
Yeah.
With poisonous fog.
Mm-hmm. And again, the word that I'm looking for.
What are you trying to say here?
I was saying it in the beginning. What is the word?
What is the word? The clearing.
No. It's an emotion or something.
What?
It doesn't matter.
Sad?
And again, sad.
Disorientation?
Thank you. Yes.
It's an emotion. Yeah, it fits right in with anger, happiness.
Disorientation.
How you feeling today?
Disoriented.
I mean, that works, but I feel like it's more of an adjective.
Yeah, emotion wasn't really the word.
But I liked that. Yeah, she's disoriented as hell.
Yeah, why do they gotta keep doing that?
It's rude.
It's really rude.
They don't give
her
any
some
warning. That's not how Nyaxia works, okay?
Well, Nyaxia's a little bitch.
She is. God damn it. It sounded like you choked on the word.
I did a little bit. Oh, I was talking about Nyaxia.
Oh.
I was like, Nixia.
It didn't sound like that if it makes you feel better. We're a hot mess today, y'all. I don't know why we're on one.
I don't know.
Things are especially
I
weird.
wonder why.
Yeah. But anyway, she starts hearing vampires afoot, fighting and stuff, and sees two of them in the distance, like in a clearing. And of course, all these vamps are like thirsty as fuck.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of deer and stuff around, like easy prey. But she watches them take down this deer and realizes that it like makes them lose their mind and they start killing each other. So she assumes that all of the prey are poisonous.
Yeah.
They've been poisoned. What a messed up trial, dude.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you've been starving for 3 weeks? Here's a bunch of deer that you can't eat.
Yeah.
Or squirrels or whatever. I imagine everything's poison.
It's everything, yeah.
And she starts making her way out and gets attacked by a vampire and has to kill him.
And then she sees Rain.
She's like, fuck. I need to warn him.
I gotta let him know.
Yeah. And he is flying after a deer with a quickness.
Yeah.
And she like jumps up on a rock and is like, hey!
Over here!
Don't do it! But he is in blind.
Yeah.
Blind bloodlust.
Yeah, he's gotta eat something.
Yeah, he's ravenous. And so he like tackles her.
No, she tackles him.
Oh, she like hops on him.
Yeah, or something.
She's on a rock. She's like, hey! Climbs on his back.
Or something.
I don't know, but she gets him. And he is obviously super different than she's ever seen him before. Like crazed and wild-eyed and
Yeah.
all that good stuff. But she like fights him back to himself. Back to consciousness.
Which is how?
Yeah. In what world?
Yeah.
Like, I guess there's enough of him buried in there to like recognize that he loves her. Because he obviously does.
I mean, yeah.
But she gets him back.
Yep.
And he accepts her help to like get somewhere safe. And so they make it to a cave.
Yep. And they go back into the cave and hide. They like go back as far as they can.
And Rain's like, I need to hunt.
Yeah, I have to go eat.
I need to eat. So either I go out there and hunt or you go hunt for me. And she's like, dude, you can't eat the freaking deer here. Like, there's no way that you can do that.
Yeah. So you can just drink me.
Yeah. Check out my neck.
Look at it.
And he's like, no.
Yeah.
She's like, no, it's all right.
Oh, really?
You're going to die, dude.
You need to eat.
Yeah.
And
I'd rather you not kill me. Do it when I'm willing.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, but all right.
Get on top of me.
Yeah, she's like, what's the best way to do this? He's like,
yeah,
come straddle me.
Yeah.
Woo! But then, like, grabs her dagger or her knife and, like, positions
Puts it over his own heart.
Yeah, and he's like, you just need to know that you're in control the whole time. This kid's freaking saucy.
I know.
It's the first sauce we've had.
I know.
So and he like warns her before he gets going.
Yeah.
He's like, so, you know, vamp poison.
It's gonna make you horny.
It's gonna make you freaking randy. It's its whole job. You're gonna want me so bad.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I know. Okay. And does it.
Does it.
Boy.
So he drinks.
Boy. Yeah, he's going to town.
He gets a good old drink.
Mm-hmm.
And she just gets something.
She's grinding up on him.
Yep.
Which also, you know, makes him excited too.
Well, yeah, of course.
It's a whole show. And she freaking, through all of this, has a nice time too.
Yeah. She gets her rocks off.
She sure does.
By grinding on his member.
Mini
Which,
brain.
of course, is very large.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because fantasy.
Yeah, all of them are. Everyone. All of the members.
Huge. Massive members.
I hated that. Massive members. All of the fantasy males.
Yep.
But yeah, she has a good time.
She
you
does.
know?
Good for her. She deserves it.
Wow. I like that.
I
for
wonder
her.
if that's the first time.
That she's ever actually climaxed?
No, I don't think it is, because she's like, you'd be amazed what you can do when you're exploring your own body.
Yeah. So
Facts.
she knows herself well. Yeah,
Yeah.
true. Very, very real facts. But she hasn't had a good, it didn't seem like sexual relationship with anyone.
Yeah,
Last time
no.
it happened was she almost died. So, no thanks. There's a couple of quotes that are not too raunchy, I don't think,
Okay.
in all of this interaction.
Okay. In the cave?
Yeah.
Okay.
During this blood sucking.
Got it. And other things.
And otherwise. Let's see what
Okay.
it says.
What page you on?
319. So in all this, she's sort of having like an internal battle.
Yeah.
Where like she wants him real bad, but also knows that they're supposed to be enemies and need to kill each other.
Yeah.
But she says, I didn't want to stop. I wanted to give all of myself to him. And the most frightening part of all, the part that would have scared me away if my logical mind had been at all functional in this moment, was that it wasn't the venom. No, all of this had already been there, simmering. There was only one. This was only what made it bubble over. I'm like, yeah, we all know. Come on now. And then one more. You ready?
Okay. Ready.
Page 320.
Okay.
This is after the
After she-
climax town.
Gets her socks off.
Uh-huh.
Rocks. Not socks.
She pulls her socks off. Don't need these.
Too hot.
Like goose. But he's also done. He like has stopped drinking from her.
Sorry, thinking about goose in a
It's bad timing.
yeah, it was
Goose is my daughter. That's her
was
name.
9 months old.
Definitely her name.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's done drinking her blood. She's recovering.
Uh-huh.
And it says, his lips parted and I kissed him before words could come out. My blood tasted like warm iron, but that was nothing compared to the way he tasted. He smelled like the sky. Okay, but what's that? He tasted like falling. What the hell is that?
What does falling taste like? Excuse me?
Like falling in love? And even that doesn't have a flavor.
Hey, what kind of chips are those? Oh, falling.
It's really good.
Weird.
Anyway, that's not the point of this quote. His lips met mine like he had been waiting his entire life for this kiss and had known exactly what he would do when he got it. We kissed like we fought together, responding to each touch, each movement. We understood each other by now. So now they love each other, obviously.
I love them also.
Yeah, I do too. They're pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
They're all right, I guess.
They're fine.
They're fine. So they share this sweet moment. And she wants him still. She's like, you know, I want the rest. Take me. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I want you in the right state of mind.
Yeah, I don't want you just because, or I don't want, yeah. He's convinced that she only wants him because
Of the venom.
of the venom.
Yeah. And he's like, no, we gotta wait till it's out of your system.
That was really hard to say.
It sounded like it. And he's like, you gotta rest. You've lost a lot of blood. And when he says that, she's like, oh shit, I have. I'm woozy. You just drank a bunch of blood.
Why do we both need water at the
I
same
am
time?
so thirsty constantly. But he like snuggles up to her. You're squeaking.
My water bottle is obnoxious.
It's talking. It wants to join.
Oh!
It'll be our guest. Rain snuggles up with her. And they fall asleep. And before they do, he's like, you are the most stunning thing I've ever seen, Araya. Sweet.
I love them.
Sweet babies.
Sweet baby angels.
Yeah. And then she wakes up in his arms.
Yeah.
And he looks a whole lot better after drinking her blood.
I would imagine.
Both are real awkward, though. They're a little awko. And so instead of talking about feelings, Araya just immediately goes into strategizing.
Yeah.
She's like, so, anyway, how are we going to get through this shit?
Yeah, she's like, the smoke, I don't
Yeah.
know what it is, but it's bad.
It burns.
Look at my leather. It's bubbled.
Yeah. And they look out the cave mouth and realize that they can't evade the smoke, like if they take a straight shot through the forest that they came in.
Yeah.
And so they're like scoping out, trying to figure out how the heck they're supposed to do it. And they see like a, I don't know, cliffside on the next to them.
Mm-hmm.
A path
But there's
up
a
a
ridge.
cliff.
Yeah.
A ridge. And Araya like times it because the smoke is coming up to the ridge in poofs.
In poofs. Yeah.
And she's like, it happens every 90 seconds. And she has like a dumb idea that Rain shoots down. That they just sprint or something. I don't even know.
Sure.
Whatever. He shoots it down. And
she says 90 seconds, it's predictable, and it takes a long time for the cloud to get up there. I pointed to the crest of the rim. We would be able to see the wave coming. And Rain says, and do what? And she says, hide.
behind a rock.
Yeah. And he's like, behind a rock.
Yeah, that's not the
That's a
greatest
stupid
plan.
idea.
The smoke would definitely come around the walk.
Around the walk.
Around the walk. So Rain, instead, he's like, listen, I killed a freaking Shadowborn.
Mm-hmm.
And they have fancy cloaks.
They do.
Shit, yeah.
Why is this the first time we're learning about this?
I know. I have a lot to say about the end of this book.
But yeah, they have fancy cloaks
Fancy
made out of
cloaks.
fancy fabric that, like, stops things from penetrating.
Yep. Things and
Get
stuff.
your mind out of the gutter.
You used the word penetrating.
Well,
I know it's accurate. I'm sorry.
what other word would you like me to use, Danielle?
Filters things. Doesn't allow stuff in. Penetrates.
Thank
Anyway,
you.
Ryan's like, I'm gonna go get it.
Yeah.
And flies down into the scary clouds. And Ryan's like timing him. She's like, if he doesn't make it back in 60 seconds, I'm going in.
Mm-hmm.
And she's about to, and he like comes scoops her up. Like, what the hell are you doing? Stop.
Mm-hmm.
I got it.
Sorry.
The freaking, what's it called? A Vathrian silk cloak. Avathrian.
Avathrian.
It doesn't matter because it's never brought up
Yeah,
again.
this is the only time it's ever talked about.
Yeah. And they plan on taking the ridge. Rain's gonna carry Araya the whole way.
Okay, I have to say something.
What?
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 Rain said it filters things.
Hey.
Penetrate.
I said filtered. Who's right now, sucker? Anywho, Rain's gonna carry her.
Yeah.
And because he's carrying and flying, she's gonna have to defend them. And then every time smoke comes, they're gonna hide under their cloak.
Yeah, it seems like it's gonna take them a real long time.
Yeah.
To get where they need to go.
Especially stopping every 90 seconds. Like, they only have 90 seconds to run. And it's miles.
Yeah. Well, and
They saw, like, he took a peek and could see, like, a golden arch or something miles away that they have to get to, and they assume that's the end. But they also haven't seen any of the rest of the enemies, so they don't really know what they're up against.
Yeah. Are they running or are they flying? I'm pretty sure they're flying. So they gotta come down to the ground.
I think he's like doing a fly run. Where they're still close to the ground because it can't go up high either. Like the
smoke's up there too.
I imagine like ground, and he's just like flying along the ground and then dropping every time.
Okay, but flying.
Yeah, but close enough to the ground to drop easy. I don't know, dude. There's not a movie. Okay, come on.
Okay, fine. Jeez, I was just asking.
I don't know the answers, and I'm sorry for that.
Rude.
But anywho, man, they started doing it.
They're going.
They're doing it. They're going. And they're still getting burned, but much less. Like every time they have to hide from the smoke. And Rain's taking most of it.
Yeah. I feel like his wings are taking most of it, which is like, is that wise? Is that wise? But I mean, it's not like he has time to like put them away in between every...
Yeah. He's also a vamp and she's human, so I'm sure he can withstand more of the burn. But they're starting to get tired and, like, slowing down a bit. Mm-hmm. And then 3 freaking wolves come out of nowhere and start attacking.
Yeah. And they steal all 90 seconds that they have on this run.
Yeah. They almost don't make it under the cloaking time. I mean, they have limbs hanging out by the time they go under it.
Yeah.
Raya, like, murders them all.
Yeah.
And they hide again.
Are the wolves not affected by this fog?
Right.
Come on. What about the animals?
Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. Especially because I think it's recent fog. I would say, like, maybe they evolved. Unless it isn't recent. When did that happen? We'll find out in a minute. We may maybe not find out, but, like, we'll talk about it in a minute. Right now, in fact. After she kills wolves, she realizes they're pretty close.
Yeah.
But then Rain starts looking around. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, shit.
Oh, they gotta know where we are.
This is freaking Salome. Dude.
Yeah.
And it's been blown up by Asteris.
Yeah.
And everything is from the magic. Hellfire and Asteris.
Yeah.
So when did that happen?
They've only been locked up for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
This had to have happened sometime in those 3 weeks.
Did it? Or is this like... Well, but... Right? Has Raya hasn't been there since she was a tiny kid. Has Rain?
Yeah, but
do they know that it was, like, recent?
The war would be breaking out more crazy than it already is if it had been earlier.
So these are just these animals.
Yeah.
They're just adapted quickly.
There's no way.
I know. Come on. No. Why would there be wolves? But once they realize it's
plot hole.
I need answers. And the deer, maybe it's all magic, you know? They've done some crazy shit with magic. Maybe the deer
have magic shields.
Yeah, maybe. But they're also poisonous. I have a quote for you.
Poisoned, shielded deer.
Yeah. That's fine.
Pretty wild. What's Cuckoo Crazy Pants?
Cuckoo. Crazy Pants. I got a quote. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I've been waiting.
I'm sorry. I was just talking to fill time.
I also was. That's why I said Cuckoo Crazy Pants.
I lost my bookmark. Anyway, it's over. I don't need it anymore. I've read it.
Oh, yeah.
This is page 333 and 334.
Okay.
It smelled like this very place had smelled 16 years ago, the night Vincent had taken me home. I was numb as realization fell over me. I will spare no one, Vincent had said. I will not spare your wives or your children. And he hadn't. Not just the Rashawn, but the humans too. Vincent had killed them all.
Yeah.
It was like 500,000 people.
Yeah, and this... Because when he said that was after the friggin' thing that
attack
happened last time.
The attack?
Yeah.
Yeah. The hellfire explosion at the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So these animals, plot hole. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, you're right. They probably have magic.
Yeah,
shields.
for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Especially because Raya, the only reason she's doing all of this is to go back to Salome to find her family. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's freaking devastated.
Frickin' Vincent,
Frick, dude. God. Frick frack.
Really hate him.
Yeah, me too. He's been... I've not been a fan the entire book.
He's a turd muffin.
Turd muffin. Gross.
Yeah.
But yeah, that happens.
Yep.
And then as Araya's in shock.
Yeah.
And Rain, like, pins her just in time to cover from smoke, but not fully. And then freaking Ivan shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And he's ready to murder. And Araya sees it and, like, pushes Rain out of the way. And Ivan tackles her and stabs her, I think, ? He hurts her in some way.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's a stab or what, but she's injured in that encounter. I put a stab with a ? As if I didn't read it and I couldn't have double checked when I took these notes. Or maybe it didn't say explicitly and that's why I had questions. But she's not doing
he does anything. He's blood magicking her.
Maybe
so her blood is boiling inside of her body.
Okay, that's an injury for sure.
Yeah.
But she's not okay. She's getting hurt. And Rain comes and, like, tackles him off of her.
Yeah.
But then who comes, Sarah?
And he's like, don't fucking touch her.
Yeah.
Which, okay.
Territorial as shit.
Okay, I see you.
But then who comes, Sarah?
Freaking Angelica.
Yeah, dude.
Dude.
This is not good.
Mm-mm.
She has an arrow pointed at Araya, like telling Rain to let Ivan go.
Yeah.
And she's gonna kill Araya.
Yeah.
She knows that Araya's important to him.
Uh-huh.
She's the one who says, like, you don't want it to be another Nessanin.
Does she?
Yeah.
So it's brought up again?
Nessanin?
Yeah.
Yeah. She says something about Nessanin.
Okay.
Like, you don't want it to another Nessanin.
Yeah, I do remember that. You're right.
Yeah.
But she yells at Rain to let Ivan go. And so he's like, all right.
Mm-hmm.
And does.
But tosses him off a freaking cliff.
Yep.
Into the fog.
fog.
Bummer, dude.
He did.
And Angelica is distraught.
Yeah.
Did she love Ivan?
She's
Were they lovers?
They might have been. Or are they brother and sister?
I don't know. They're both blood dudes. But he does throw Ivan off a cliff, and then he's like, we gotta get the heck out of here. Grabs Raya and starts flying like crazy to the end.
Yeah.
And they're both getting burned like a bunch. Because, well, they aren't cloaked anymore. But they make it through the arch.
They do.
And end up in the Colosseum.
Mm-hmm.
And Ibrahim he's made it somehow. How does he keep surviving?
How is he alive?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's crippled.
He was bludgeoned. And he can't function well.
Yeah.
But he's kicking.
Yeah,
Maybe he's just used to fighting an uphill battle.
Yeah.
So he just keeps doing all right.
Beginner's luck? Question mark?
Beginner's luck. Perhaps. But he's there. His wings are demolished.
Yeah.
He, like, used his wings to cover himself.
To shield himself from the fog.
Yeah. He says, because he's clipped, I think. Like, he can't fly.
Yeah.
He said something like, they finally came in handy.
Mm-hmm.
But freaking, the minister's there, too. Minister.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, so, by the way, the next trial is tomorrow.
Yeah. It's not going to be in 3 weeks. It's tomorrow.
Yeah.
We gotta move along here.
Yep. And he says that, like, Nyaxia doesn't think that wherever they're at, I forget the name,
Sivranage
is going to be around any longer. And then there's
will exist in 3 weeks.
Yeah,
because of the war that's going on, because Vincent murdered everyone.
Well, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I got a quote.
Okay.
Araya, after hearing that, looks around.
Okay.
And this is on page 339, 340. The city of Sivranage had always been as sleek as a weapon, but now the blade had been drawn and it was covered in death. Bodies lined the Colosseum walls, propped up on stakes. Some still twitched in their final death throes, the life draining from them for mother knew how long. There were hundreds of them, so many they stretched into the distance too far for me to make out the shape of their bodies. But my father did not start anything he could not finish. I knew they would continue for the entire length of the walls, even when I could not see them. And pinned below each stake, stretched out in garlands of death, were their wings, countless feathered wings, staked through ancient stone. Red, black blood dripped down white marble in the deceptively elegant rivulets, glistening in the torchlight beneath a rainbow of brown and gold and white and gray and black feathers. Black. That was hard for me to say, apparently. So that's a big freaking bummer. He's just out here murdering. They were only gone. How long were they in the trial?
Yeah.
I guess they were trapped for 3 weeks and magic to the trial, so they haven't been here in a while.
Yeah.
Since at least 3 weeks. 4.
Yeah.
5, maybe.
17.
Oh,
who knows?
Time's irrelevant.
Okay, I have a question for you. Because right after that quote, Vincent says something into Araya's mind.
Yeah.
Like, and that's been happening throughout the whole book.
It has.
She imagines him saying things, or is she actually hearing him? Do they have some sort of weird mind bond?
I feel like that is never explicitly said. I know there were. I mean, I assumed it was just her, like, you know,
imagining
thinking what he would say in that moment. But there are times where I'm like,
yeah, because this one says, I've had 300 years of practice, Vincent whispered in my ear. It's always important to be decisive and efficient. But he's not actually whispering into her ear.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't explain it one way or another.
No,
but I have the same kind of question, too.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It does feel like he's talking to her.
Yeah.
Or maybe she just knows him real well.
Maybe.
But
then we head into another interlude.
I know. This one's brutal.
Yeah. This is where we finally figure out what happened to the
lover.
Poor lover.
What happened, Sarah?
The poor lover.
Yeah.
Well,
freaking Vincent brings Araya into the throne room or something.
Mm-hmm. And he basically just tells her, he gives her a dagger.
Mm-hmm.
And tells her the heart is the easiest way. Straight through the chest.
Yeah.
And that's basically it.
Well, yeah.
And then he's like,
they get in there and her lover's like tied up.
Yeah.
And ready and waiting. He's like, you gotta do it. And she doesn't want to. But she sure does.
And he tried to apologize, the lover did.
Yeah.
He didn't know that he would feel that way.
Right. Which, like, fair if you're a new vamp.
Yeah. Someone should probably tell them that.
Yeah.
When they become maid or whatever.
Crash course. On
Quascos.
There should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she had to murder him.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a quote at the end that says, "Those are the stains on one's innocent that never fade." That probably corrupted her in some way.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's got to be scarring.
Yeah. But they get back to the Moon Palace, and Angelica made it back too.
Mm-hmm.
And she like came in looking like she'd been crying or something, probably grieving Yvonne.
Grieving, yeah.
She loved him or something, but
Yeah.
she's also probably pissed. But
yeah, I mean, she wanted to kill Araya before. Imagine how she feels now.
I know.
God.
It's not good. But Araya and Rain go back to the apartment to heal Araya because she's injured.
Mm-hmm.
And Rain like calls Vincent a monster.
Yeah.
After seeing all of that. But Araya's in heavy denial, dude. She's like, he wouldn't have done all this. Like, there's no way.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she just saw like hundreds of bodies on stakes. He's like, no, he's real bad, dude.
Yeah.
Dude. I don't know why all the dudes are coming out
today.
Dude. But they get into like a heated debate about it. And Rain's like, he knows enough to know that he is a monster.
Yeah.
And Araya like slowly starts realizing the same. And there was a quote on 349.
Mm-hmm.
You're on that page.
I am.
It might be the same one if you marked it as a quote.
And when a voice in my head whispered, he's right. Isn't that enough? It wasn't Vincent's voice. It was mine. Finally. Your own voice.
I know. I think there's a small paragraph.
There is. The line between anger and sadness is so thin. I had learned that fear can become rage, but rage can so easily shatter into devastation. The fractures spiderwebbed across my heart. There has to be something I'm not seeing. He couldn't have. He wouldn't.
Yeah. She
still believes in him, but I'm like, girl.
I mean, I feel like she has built him up to be this, like, one and only savior, safe house for so long. That, like, to imagine that he is actually super evil, even though he's a freaking vampire king who killed a bunch of dudes to get where he's at.
Yeah.
Come on, Araya, open your eyes.
Yeah.
You naive little people. But then she, like, lets it slip to Rain that she's going to become a Karate.
Yeah.
And he's like, what?
He is pissed.
He is angry.
Yeah. He's like, excuse me?
He's like, why in the hell would you do that? Like, he's obviously just trying to use you because that means, you know, you get his powers, but he also gets yours. And that means you can't hurt him, too.
Yeah.
Like, why is he so afraid of you?
Mm-hmm.
Which, you know, makes... I don't know. We'll find out more later.
Well, and he tells her... He's like, do you know how many humans were left in Salome? There were almost none. Because he's been taking them.
Yeah.
And she didn't know that.
Yeah. Harvesting them, essentially.
For the last 20 years.
Yeah. That's really nice.
Yeah.
But she's denying everything, of course, and grieving, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a bad conversation, and she ends up leaving.
Yeah.
She dips.
Yep. She can't hang.
That's a lot. But he's spitting the truth in her face, and she's like, no, he's my savior and my pops. He can't possibly have killed this many people.
Yeah.
Oh,
he loves me.
He did, girl. He killed, like, freaking 1 million people all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But then Araya storms to Vincent's office after this. She's like, I need to talk to the man himself. See what's going on.
Yeah. And when she gets back to, gets to the palace, she's like, man, this place is different.
Yeah.
But is it, or are you just seeing it differently?
Yeah.
Because now you're pissed. She's like, I never noticed that the smell of rose was kind of rancid and all these other things.
Rose-colored glasses. Yeah. She's definitely noticing differences. And when she gets to the office, she, like, orders Jasmine to find Vincent for her.
She's like, get him right now.
Yeah, and Jasmine.
Or I'm going to find him myself.
Yeah. And when he shows up, he's disheveled as hell.
Yeah.
He's not looking good. And Araya confronts him about Salome. And he's like, I did what was right for my people, basically.
Yeah.
And she's fighting back like that was so many people. Human lives matter. I am human. Their lives mattered.
Yeah. And she's like, you weren't even going to tell me.
Yeah.
Like, buddy.
Yeah, you weren't even going to mention it.
You dick bag.
Dick bag. And he's like, oh, yeah? Well, humans are nothing. And, like, brings her over to look into the feast hall. And there's just freaking... His army is just feasting on humans.
Yeah.
They're, like, tied to tables and stuff.
And he's, like, proud of it.
Yeah. He's like, check this out.
Look at what we're doing.
Yeah, you're better than them.
Yeah.
As if she's not a human herself.
This was never going to be you.
Yeah. Why? He said that a lot.
Yeah.
I wonder. There's a lot of... something.
Yep.
And she's disgusted by this, still angry.
Absolutely.
Naturally. And he tells her that he wants her to be his daughter in every sense. Like, he wants her to win. What?
He also calls the people... I have to read this quote.
Is it page 357?
It is.
It's probably one that I didn't... Yeah, do it.
Okay. Vincent says, look, Araya, look at them. These aren't people, they're livestock. You never would have allowed yourself to be one of them because you were better than them. I made you better. I gave you teeth and claws. I made your heart steel. Do not pity them. They are less than you. The fact that he calls them livestock.
I know. He's just, like, farming humans.
Yeah.
To feed his armies.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Yeah.
Man. But, yeah. Tells her he wants her to be his daughter in every sense. And she says that she's ashamed of being more like him than humans. She's like, that's something I'm ashamed of right now. And he rages. He starts getting real scary.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you want to be my enemy? And, like, up in her face, grabbing her. Relax.
And he tells her, I could have you killed. Like,
yeah.
rude, dude.
And she's trusted him all this time. And he's, like, acting like he's going to murder her right then and there.
Yeah.
Just for questioning his authority. But then he, like, snaps out of it and starts apologizing. Like, that's gonna do the trick, buddy old pal. So Araya dips.
Yeah.
Naturally. I wouldn't have gone.
Yeah, no.
in the first place.
No.
Come on.
I would have dipped a long ass time ago.
Same, though. So to blow off some steam, she goes and hunts vampires.
Yeah.
She's murdered like 4 of them.
Yep.
And
she loses her mind on one of them.
Yeah,
the last one that she kills, she's like...
She just won't stop stabbing.
Yeah.
And Rain appears out of nowhere and stops her. He's like, bruh, relax. He's dead.
God.
And she's spiraling hard.
Yeah.
And also just like realizing that the human districts in Sivranage, it's not protection. No. It's a farm. Like they're being bred to feed the vampires. Mm-hmm. Which
they were breeding grounds.
I feel like, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Like, why would humans ever be safe in a city run by vampires?
Vampire territory, yeah.
Guys, come on. Get out of there.
Use your brains.
Yeah, really. Vampires, blood, come on. You need blood to live, come on.
Come on. Come on.
Jeez. But Araya, like, assumes that Rain pities her when he shows that he cares.
Yeah. And
he doesn't.
No.
They have these, like, longing looks at each other. Unspoken words. Unspoken I love yous.
Yeah.
And then Araya kisses him again. Mm-hmm. More kissing.
Ooh.
So then, dude, they almost start getting busy in an alley. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
Getting busy. And then Rain's like, no. Listen, we're not doing this here.
Yeah, again, it's something about, like, I didn't imagine that the first time we did this would be
in an alley.
A stinky alley.
Next to, like, the entrails of a guy that you just murdered viciously. So he's like, we're going to leave. But then Rain asks Araya for one honest thing, which this very much gives me, like, Feyre and Rhys's thought for a thought. Mm-hmm. A couple of times they were giving me Feyre and Rhys. There's another one that I wrote down somewhere. I'll tell you when I find it.
Okay.
But there's a quick little quote, I think, on page 366.
Okay.
And this is the thoughts for a thought, or the honest truth.
I think I have it if you want me to read it.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. The most terrible, honest thing of all was that with Rain, it was all honest. It always had been. He saw too much of me, understood every complexity and senseless duality. I was honest even when I didn't mean to be. He did not fear my darkness nor pity my compassion. And the truth was, the idea of dying without knowing him completely was torturous.
That's the one. You knew. Thanks.
And then she tells him, we'll probably die tomorrow. Show me something worth living for.
That's exactly where my quote ended.
Yep.
Yeah, she's like, bang me like it's our last night on earth. Because it is.
Because it is for one of us.
Yeah. And so he flies him back.
Yep.
Flies him back to the palace.
Yep. And he kisses her as he flies, which is real cute.
Well, cuties.
Kind of gives me Feyre Rhys vibes also. Sure. Getting busy in the sky.
Yeah. Guys, how? I still have questions about that. But then they get down to business.
They do.
And also this is it. Araya at one point, like, touches his wings, and he's like, yeah. And she's like, did it tickle? And he's like, well, something like that.
Something like that.
And I'm like,
then he puts
okay,
him away.
Recent.
Yeah.
Fucking Feyre. Come
he's
on.
like, we'll save that for another time.
Yeah.
And wisps his wings away.
God.
I know.
Similar. Which book came first?
I'm sure it was ACOTAR.
Probably. But while they're, feeling each other out, Rain notices Araya, like, touching her scars on her neck. Mm-hmm. And he, like, understands immediately, like, what that's about.
Yeah.
He is very insightful, and he says, you're safe. He keeps telling her that. He's told her that multiple times. Which always, like, rings something for her, because that's what Vincent said, like, when she was little and first kidnapped. And so they're doing the dirty. And Rain at one point says, I would beg for you. I would beg for you, I would. You have fucking destroyed me, Araya. And at the end, she says he destroyed me too.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, listen, I have a spicy list that we need to cover tonight.
Yep.
I got a list of things that I want to do to you. Been thinking about it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, ooh, dog.
Okay.
Ooh,
Challenge accepted.
Yeah. But then the next day, or I guess night, I don't know.
I think it's night. The trial starts at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They wake up, and Rain sort of tells her a bit about his past. About how he was like a guard, and he was out on a sailing mission.
Mm-hmm.
Protecting boats. And got injured in this. And some dude, vampire, was like, do you want to live? And he was like, I mean, yeah, because he had a wife and a kid on the way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the guy who turned him into a freaking vamp dude.
And we learned that Nesserin
Yeah.
was his wife.
I don't know if she was. I feel like he had a different wife. And then he met Nessenin in this guy's captivity. Or was she?
Yeah, Nesserin was the dude's wife. Nesserin, his wife. Every bit as much of a prisoner of him as I was.
Oh, shit. It's the guy's wife that turned him? I did not retain that part at all.
And Rain fell in love with her.
He did, yeah. They had a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy who turned him wouldn't let him go.
Mm-hmm.
And his world that he created was starting to crumble. Like, there was chaos afoot.
Yeah.
And so Rain decided to get out while he could. But Nessenin would not go with him.
Mm-hmm.
She chose to stay. And so he came back to House of Night or whatever. And that's when Mish convinced him to go into the Kajari to help the Rashans. Because of the Hiaj reign.
Yeah.
And all the murder that was going down. And when he met Araya, he finally found someone who finds defiance to defend her world and was inspired by her. And she feels dumb for that. And he's like, no, you just never stop fighting. Because they're going back and forth about she thinks he deserves to win more than her, I think. And they both know that they're at an end and an impasse where one of them's going to have to go.
Yeah.
And he's like, you have to promise me you'll never stop fighting. And so they spend the last moments together. And then go meet with the freaking minister.
Mm-hmm.
And the other contestants. And it's time for the new moon trial.
Okay, Twilight.
Yeah, and this one's freaking crazy.
Yeah.
So they go to Coliseum,
Yeah.
but they're all in their own little enclosures.
Uh-huh.
And Araya's surrounded by 3 gods, or what are being portrayed as gods.
Yeah. But they're real gross and creepy and dead.
Yeah, they're decomposing corpses
Yeah.
of Rashan that have been murdered.
Yeah.
And that's a lot.
Yeah.
First off.
Yeah.
But they've been magicked to be animated and deadly.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is Atraxis, which is the the god of the sun, which that's how Mish got her magic. It's through him. The other one's Ix, which they've been saying Ix's tit.
Ix's tit. Yeah.
And I don't think they ever explain that. But Ix is sex, the goddess of sex and fertility.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one is Kajmar, god of seduction, art, beauty, and music. And he is making some wild ass noises.
Yeah.
That stun Araya.
Uh-huh.
So she's like, I gotta get rid of him first.
Got, supersonic.
Yeah. What's
noises.
that about? He's making echolocation. It's like a dog whistle. But it stuns her every time. So she's like, well, I gotta focus on him first.
Yeah.
And when she gets close enough, realizes that it's a corpse and that the magic is seated somewhere and that is related to their god.
To their magic, yeah.
And his is in his throat.
In his throat.
So she freaking gets him at the throat.
Yeah, doesn't she practically chop his head off?
I'm pretty sure she might even do that. I don't know. But she does that, and then next goes after Ix, and Ix is the one who's shooting arrows.
Mm-hmm.
And so she goes for the hands. And then once it's down to Atraxis, his is in his chest.
Mm-hmm.
But
she shoots an arrow at him.
Yeah, she takes them all down.
Yeah.
That would be a terrifying experience.
Yeah. And as she's, like, going to the next, like, there's a door or something she goes through. But as she's going there, she sees other people fighting different gods in their own cells.
How many gods are there?
I know.
And what are their powers?
I know.
That's a lot.
Also, has anyone else figured out that, like, the powers are
associated
in a spot?
Yeah, associated with whatever the god's strength is. I
Right.
feel like it's, like, related to the god power.
Yeah.
But that's intense.
Kind of crazy.
I know. And spooky.
I certainly wouldn't want to fight an actual god. I mean, it's not an actual, I guess, but...
Yeah, it's fake god, but...
Still.
Nonetheless.
Terrifying.
They've been magicked to be magical.
Mm-hmm.
But she gets him down, and then as she heads through the next door or whatever, she encounters Ibrahim, who is also taking down his gods. This guy, how's he keep doing it?
Yeah.
But he's in rough shape this time.
Yeah, he's not doing good at all.
No. And she's like, the crowd is like cheering about his demise or something.
They're laughing. They're laughing at him because he's like limping and not okay.
Yeah. They're laughing at him, and she's like, don't like let them get to you. Let's have a good fight.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a swift death.
Yeah, and he asks her, he's like, do you pity me?
Yeah.
She's like, no.
No,
buddy.
Poor Ibrahim.
And she's like, fuck them who are laughing at you. Don't let them mock you.
Yeah.
Give me a fair fight and I'll give you a fair death.
Yeah. So she takes him out.
So she does.
And then she enters, like, the center of the Colosseum.
Yeah, before we talk about that.
Yeah.
When she kills Ibrahim, he says before she delivers the final death blow, I'm glad it was you.
Yeah.
Because they've had this, like, weird thing this whole time.
Yeah, well, he lived in the castle with her, or the palace, whatever.
Well, and I feel like they were both underdogs. Like,
for sure.
She's a human. He's not okay.
No, he's been brutalized by his own family. Yeah, they had sort of that in each other, saw each other in the other. But he's gone. Ibrahim's down. So now it's down to Angelica, Rain, and Araya. And they end up in the center of the Colosseum. And at this point, it's just like battle to death.
Yeah.
It's battle royale.
Yeah. And Angelica's coming after Araya.
Yeah. Relentlessly.
Yeah.
She's really striking hard.
Yeah. And Rain's trying to, like, get her off. Trying to distract her.
Yeah.
But it's not working.
Get her off. Oh! No, he already did that for Araya, Sarah. Come on. Anyway, yeah, he's trying to do something to distract her. And at one point, Araya, like, sees over Angelica's shoulders, Rain look into the stands and, like, give a slight nod. And she's like, what the heck's that about?
Yeah.
But then, Angelica falls.
Yeah, Angelica's blood magicking her. And,
Araya.
Rain lunges at Angelica, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, he can't get past her. He can't get a hit in at all. Like, Angelica's just swiping him away. And
this is when she sees... So, Angelica's using blood magic. Rain tries to attack Angelica. She pushes him off. And Araya looks to Rain, hoping that she'll see him looking at her, but she sees him looking into the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And, but he nods at something. And then...
yeah.
And then, Nightfire comes. Angelica collapses. She's not even attempting to block it.
Yeah, it says that on page 404, something strange happened. The strike did not come when I expected. Instead, Angelica faltered, her gaze lifting briefly to the stands watching. Mm-hmm. Why did Angelica look up into the stands? We know why Rain does eventually, but why did Angelica?
I don't know.
Maybe Homeboy.
Maybe.
Does something to get her attention?
Maybe. Or she's been in on the whole thing because she tells Araya good luck. right before she dies.
Well, I guess Septimus is the House of Blood guy, and she's House of Blood.
Yeah.
He's a prince. So
Yeah.
does he have some, like...
Is he, like...
influence over her?
Speaking to her through her mind?
He's like, all right, give up.
Yeah. That's enough.
Because fucking... Oh,
things have to happen.
Weird.
The way they need to happen.
Interesting. But yeah, Raya takes her down with some night fire. And then... it's down to Rain and Naraya.
Mm-hmm.
And this is terrible.
And they've agreed. They've agreed before this that they would fight fair.
Yeah.
Like, they would both put up a good fight.
Mm-hmm.
If they were the last two left.
Yeah. So they start fighting.
So they do.
But Araya at one point is like, you're holding back, don't. Mm-hmm. And so they both are just fighting with all they got. But they know each other so well that it's like damn near impossible to get any hits in on each other.
Uh-huh.
Because they've been, you know, training together for a while. And at one point, you know, they're fighting. And she sort of gets an advantageous position. Mm-hmm. And there's a quote on page 409. My blade was at his chest, his hand gripped my wrist hard, his lips curled into a smirk, and he whispered, "There she is," which he's been saying a whole lot.
I know.
All at once I realized what he had been doing. He had been baiting me, just like he had baited the man in the feast all those months ago. He had been fighting me so hard to make me fight back with just as much strength. I had told myself I would do it. I had work to do, people to help, power to gain. I could do none of that as a human constantly struggling to survive. A trickle of blood at the tip of my blade. My hand shook. "End it, princess," Rain murmured. "End the danger and the fear and the violence. End it, end it, end it." "No, I couldn't. I wouldn't." But Rain's hand tightened. "Look them in the eyes as you slide the blade in," Vincent's voice whispered. "No." I squeezed my eyes shut. I thought I was pulling away, but maybe Rain yanked my wrist. Maybe he drove that blade into his own chest. Or perhaps my vampire heart won the battle after all. So she freaking stakes Rain.
She does. He did.
He did.
He did. Did you cry?
No.
Me neither.
We'll talk about it at the end of the review of this book. But
yeah.
I don't know. I like this book, but I feel far less attached than I do to other characters.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. But yeah, so he's gone. And that's upsetting. It's like a, you know, it's flashbacks to her first lover. Mm-hmm. It's taking him in the heart, too.
Yeah.
And so the minister's like, "We have our victor." I don't know why he sounds like that. But
I mean, I could see it.
Kind of fits.
You know, I kind of imagine the old leader of the Volturi in Twilight, the Twilight movies, when I picture the Minister, the creepy. So your voice was kind of fitting.
I think that's accurate.
Yeah.
I think that's accurate.
Yeah.
He seems old and crotchety and creepy as hell.
Yeah.
He's got white glazed eyes. Mm-hmm. He's a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that. But he announces that she is the victor, and Nyaxia freaking comes down.
Yep. Bow for our mother of the ravenous dark Nyaxia.
Yeah.
The minister says.
Yeah. I like that. Thanks. You. And Araya's in shock and doesn't care about anything but Rain. Like, she's weeping over him.
Yeah.
As Nyaxia comes down.
Yep.
And then it says on page 412, 413, Nyaxia stood before me. She was not a person, she was an event. My mind emptied of thought, my lips parting. She floated just above the ground, delicate, bare feet pointed to the sand. Her hair was long and black, tendrils of night floating around her, as if carried by an ever-present breeze. Stars glinted in its darkness. No, not just stars, but every infinite shade of the sky. Dappled streaks of distant worlds. Purples and blues of galaxies. It was nearly to her knees, a curtain of night around her. Her skin was ice white, her eyes midnight black. Her naked body looked to have been dipped in melted silver, 1,000 shades of platinum, playing across every dip of her form. Shadows caressed her curves with dancing fragments of darkness. Paints hell of a picture.
It does, yeah.
Also, do you remember last time I was like, is Nyaxia even real?
Yeah, same. I had this whole conversation with my mom. She was like, how do you feel about the book so far? And I was like, well, I think Nyaxia is fake. It's all made up by these old men in power who are trying to, like, take over the world.
Yeah.
Well, she's real now.
She apparently.
So.
But I also am not convinced that the whole, like, letting people go home was anything to do with Nyaxia.
Absolutely not.
That was entirely the Minister.
Yeah.
Being like, no, screw all of you. You have to battle even though you're
Oh, but you're going to give
dying.
her blood? Yeah, sure. Your friend
why
can
not?
go.
Okay, go ahead. But that's wild.
And Araya says that she, like, wishes she could touch Nyaxia. She's like, I'm going to read a quote. This is on that same page, 414. I ached to touch her skin, ached to lick the drop of blood from her mouth. I had learned long ago that vampire beauty was dangerous, a trap set with silver teeth. Their allure was made to draw in prey. Nyaxia's allure dwarfed it, and it terrified me. I recognized this, and yet in this moment, when the full force of her presence hit me, I would have died for her. I would have killed for her. I would have shivered in ecstasy if she had offered me agony by those stunning blood-dipped fingertips. So...
That's a lot.
Goddess.
I don't think I want to meet Nyaxia.
Me neither.
It sounds overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's a lot. But Nyaxia is like, hey, girl.
Hey, Araya.
What's
how you
up?
doing?
Congrats, babe. And she's like, you grieve, my child. Notices her, of course, grieving over Rain. And Nyaxia goes on to, like, ask her what she wants, of course.
Yeah.
And what does she decide, Sarah?
Well, she tells Nyaxia that she wants Vincent to win instead.
Rain. Yeah.
Back to this. God.
I wish that Rain would have won instead.
Yeah. I'm going to read a little quote. Sorry.
Yeah.
4:16. Mm-hmm. My father taught me to look them in the eye as I slid the blade into their heart, and so I did not look away from him as I told Nyaxia I wished that Rain had won.
Okay, I got a question, though.
Yeah.
Why not just wish that he came back to life?
Right. That's what I kind of thought she was going to do this whole time.
Yeah.
And then she didn't.
Because I feel like at this point, after all of her talks and chats and revelations with good old Rain Dog, she may not even want to become a vampire anymore.
Right.
So you could stay human. You could bring Rain back. Or even make him a human again. You know how much he wants to be a human?
Yeah. That's what I would have done.
Yeah.
I wish Rain was alive, Genie, in the bottle. I wish Rain was alive and a human, and we could... Well, I mean, being a human kind of sucks.
Yeah. But, I mean, he misses it.
Yeah, but...
This whole book.
Yeah, but think about it. Breeding grounds.
Yeah.
Cattle.
That's true. Just go somewhere else.
Where?
I don't know.
Where are they going to go?
There's probably a lot of vamps everywhere.
I feel like.
But, yeah, that's a weird... that wish confused me. I was like, why is that what you chose, though?
Same.
Like, just bring him back to life.
Yeah.
You can still be the victor.
Yeah.
You just don't get anything out of it except for Rain.
Right. And you would have been happier. Let's be real.
For real.
Let's be real.
As the events unfold,
you
come to find...
Because...
Then...
Rain comes back to life.
He pops up. He's like, oh, I'm alive.
Bitch. And I'm coming for you.
And dude, he's the freaking Rashawn heir.
Yeah.
This surprised me. I actually was not thinking that at all this entire time.
Me neither.
I know that they at one point mentioned, like, the heirs pop up randomly. Even if, like, a bloodline has been killed, they'll find an heir-marked person eventually.
Yeah.
And that they hadn't found one in Rashawn, or there was whispers of, like, an heir somewhere. Mm-hmm. Didn't at all think that it was Rain.
Me neither.
And then...
Never crossed my mind.
Yeah. He, comes to his full form.
Yeah.
His heir. He turns into an heir.
Yeah, his air marks appear.
Well, he apparently had one down his back that he burned off of himself.
Yeah, and that's why it's a friggin' scar.
Yeah, and she remembers seeing that later. Yeah, or earlier. But what the hell?
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that. Twisted turning. And what does he do?
He kills Vincent.
Immediately. He just, like, goes up to
He's like, hey, buddy.
Yeah. Stab.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's more than that. But he goes up and murders Vincent. Which Vincent, in all of this...
Oh, also, Vincent gets a freaking wish because he's now the champion.
What? Rain does, yeah. You said Vincent again. I was like, Vincent is the champion of what? Being a
so
douche?
Good this whole episode. Rain gets wish because he's now the heir. So Nyaxia is giving 2 wishes.
Uh-huh.
That's 2 of 3.
Are you a genie? What's his wish? Just to, like, get the power?
Well, he says on page 418, 200 years ago, you came into this place and granted the winner of the Kajari a wish. You sealed away the power of the Rashan Nightborn King. I wish for that power, my lady. I wish for it to be restored to the Rashan airline. I wish for it to be restored to me.
Yeah, and Araya's like, restored?
Uh-huh.
What?
And Nyaxia says, I wondered when this might happen. Your wish is granted, Rain Ashraj, turned heir of the Rashan King.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently because Homeboy is Turner.
Yeah.
I know he's got a name. We don't know it yet.
Nessanin's husband.
Yep. He didn't have biological heir. Mm-hmm. So just...
Because he turned Rain.
He became
Rain
heir?
is the heir.
That's just wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, he gets his power and goes straight after Vincent.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously... Yeah, he flies up, and Rain's like, we met, by the way, 200 years ago. The day you took power and opened a river of blood in the city, the day you slaughtered your own family and every Rashan man, woman, and child within these walls, the day you killed anyone you thought even had the sliver of a chance of taking the Rashan airline and challenging you for the House of Night. Well, you missed one.
Mm-hmm.
And then he freaking grabs him and throws him.
And before he kills him, he looks at Araya and tries to, like, tell her to look away. Mm-hmm. He's still trying to protect her.
I know.
But she doesn't.
No, and at this point, like, Rain, are you my enemy? It sure feels like it.
Yeah.
Although Vincent's
killing my
been
father.
A jackass this whole time.
I mean, he kind of deserves to
Yeah,
die.
I am not sad about his death, for sure.
Me neither.
At all. He was just murdering by the thousands.
Yeah.
Come on. But, of course, Araya does not think that at all. But he, like, falls down, Vincent's body does.
Oh, yeah, and he's still alive.
He's almost dead. He falls down, and Araya, like, runs over to him, and he says, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, my little serpent. I was going to tell. I love you. I loved you from the first moment. So many mistakes in the end. Never you. Were his last words.
Mm-hmm.
He said he loved her, finally.
It only took dying.
I know.
Jeez.
I know, what the heck? But then, what the heck happened, Sarah? After his death.
Yeah.
This is too much.
Araya.
Yeah.
Araya's obviously shattered.
Uh-huh.
And all of a sudden, she's,
She gets the air marks.
I couldn't orient myself. Something I could not name was so different. The flames slowly ebbed. Yet... So she's, like, losing control of her magic, it seems like, in this moment. And then all of a sudden she's just got air marks.
Yeah. Does it?
I couldn't orient myself. Something I could not name was so different. The flames slowly ebbed, yet I still felt like I was burning from within. I struggled to breathe. My chest hurt. My neck hurt. As the night fire withered, Rain's eyes slowly lowered to my throat. Horror fell over his face.
Yeah, I think after Vincent goes, she just explodes with freaking fire. And then Rain's trying to, like, reel her in, fighting through the fire to be like, breathe, just breathe.
You're safe.
Yeah, okay. All right, you haven't
I
made
don't
her feel
safe
very
with
safe
you anymore,
recently.
buddy.
But yeah, she's the heir of the freaking Hyaj.
Yeah, because she was Vincent's daughter.
Too much, guys. Too many turns.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
And then we learned some more crazy shit.
It just wouldn't stop
It
at the
just
end of this
keeps
book.
going.
I feel like that would have been a good stopping point for a book.
Absolutely.
Oh, Rise and Air? Great, cool. We're done.
That would have been a terrible cliffhanger, though.
Yeah, but okay.
Ugh.
So what? There's been worse ones at the end of books.
True.
I just feel like the rest of it, I'm like, come on.
Yeah, it was
We're
a lot.
stretching a little. It's so much.
It could have been spread out.
for sure. We'll talk about this, but yeah, lots happens.
Yep.
And they want to kill her.
Yeah. They're like...
Also, Rain is with the Shadow, or the House of the Blood people. So, like, his people, the Rashans in the House of Blood, are storming the Colosseum.
Yeah.
Like, they were prepared for this to happen, even though they didn't know if he would win or not.
Yeah.
That's also confusing to me.
Yeah.
I guess he struck the... Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's explained a little bit later, actually. But they want to kill Araya, because, well, they just killed the freaking king of... Hiaj, so they thought they'd have an opening, and then Araya was like, "Ha, just kidding, I'm an heir."
Yeah.
And Rain protects her.
Yeah, he's like, "Don't you dare lay a hand on her. I have plans for her.
Yeah,
I'm gonna marry her and
freaking take her.
I'm gonna do bad things to her.
Mm-hmm. I'll make sure it hurts when I fuck her, just like it did when he raped our queen 200 years ago.
Yeah.
In relation to Vincent. So he's essentially putting on this air that he's going to take her as his pet and prisoner.
Yeah, to pay back Vincent for what he did, even though he's dead.
Yeah.
Just...
And they all agree to this.
Yeah.
Because he's making it sound like he's going to be ruthless and terrible. And I think she believes him in that moment.
Yeah, she's like, what the heck?
Yeah. And he, like, goes to apologize, and she's like, I hate you.
Yeah.
And he's like, there she is. That wasn't the time to say that, bud.
I know, but I love those little...
I know.
Every time she does something sassy, he's like, there she is.
Mm-hmm. But also, dude.
Yeah, there's a time and a place.
Yeah. And, like, you just, like, really
Yeah.
freaking came out of left field with all this shit.
Yeah.
Like, no way, shape, or form did she expect that to go down.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to make her my wife. She's coming with me.
Yep.
And doesn't he, like, knock her out?
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure he puts her to sleep. Because then she, like, wakes up in her room at the castle.
His fingers brush my face, little wisps of shadow trailed dim darkness, sleep too powerful for me to fight. So yeah, I guess he did.
He just knocks her out.
He uses like shadow magic to put her to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay, Asriel.
Rude. I miss Az.
Me too.
Anyway.
Anyhoodle.
Puts her to sleep. They wake up. She wakes up in her old bedroom.
Her chambers, yeah.
At the freaking castle.
Yeah.
And pissed and
Of
confused. And it's a lot. She gets up and like looks in the mirror at her mark.
Mm-hmm.
There's a quote on page 431.
Mm-hmm.
The mark. I had to stare at it for a long moment because my mind couldn't reconcile what I was seeing. I'd thought there must have been some misunderstanding, some confusion. But no, it was an air mark, unmistakable, carved onto my flesh. It adorned my throat like Vincent's had. A circle at the base of my neck, cradled by the inner curve of my clavicle. I realized after a long moment of staring at it that it depicted all phases of the moon layered on top of each other. Beneath it, smoke lines unfurled like petals cradling a rose, extending up my neck and over the width of my shoulders. The smoke came to 4 points on each side, like the talons of Hiaj wings. That's crazy. I know. I kind of want it.
Mm-hmm.
Got to put it somewhere. Maybe not my throat, though.
Come on.
Come on. But, yeah, she's sort of taking it all in.
Yeah.
When good old Rain arrives.
Good old Rain comes in.
Good old Rain, and she's pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously. And she essentially is, saying he lied to her. He betrayed her. And he's like, well, I didn't technically lie to you. I just didn't tell you everything.
Tell you all of the things.
Uh-huh. And
the man who turned him, we learn. I really want to try to say his name.
Yeah,
out
please.
Loud.
Go for it.
Neculi Viserys.
Neculi.
Neculi.
He was the Rashan King that freaking Vincent murdered.
Yep.
And usurped.
Yeah.
That's a trip.
Yeah.
It's too much, dudes.
I betrayed him.
Oh, yeah.
So,
he, the day that Vincent won, he helped Vincent. He, gave him keys to the stronghold and everything.
Yeah.
He helped him freaking destroy the Rashans. And now you're just coming back?
Yeah.
And saying, just kidding. I regret doing that. It's a wild time.
Yeah, so then, Rain ran But, like, as he's running, his air marks appeared. Because the king was dead. Because Rain betrayed him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, oh, I'll just keep running. Screw it.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was confused. I, like, heard you but didn't, you know?
I do. We're so close to the end.
You were, like, saying words, but my brain could not compute.
I know that feeling very well.
Yeah, so Rain's known about it for a long time.
Well, yeah.
And that's why he tried to burn it off. He, like, didn't really want to
he didn't want
be
people to know.
associated. Yeah, it's a secret.
My
So he
secret.
really went into Kajari to steal a crown.
Uh-huh.
Which he doesn't deny. He's
Yeah.
like, yep, true dat. And she asks him about the House of the Blood and why they're involved.
Mm-hmm.
Because why? Why are they involved? And he's like, well, it takes manpower to win a war, and Vincent all but wiped out the Rashan.
Yep.
And so freaking Septimus Prime offered to help me. He made a deal with Septimus. Septimus found out that he was the heir.
Yeah.
And insistent that the House of Blood could help. He told me, and the full force of the House of Blood was mine. Told him to go fuck himself. What was the favor?
See, this line specifically confused me. Everything clicked together at once. No, it didn't, Araya. It absolutely did not.
I know, it just said a favor. But it didn't specify.
I don't even know how he found out who I was. I didn't know how he knew what I was planning. I ripped apart my own inner circle looking for whoever the source was. And he was insistent that the House of Blood could help. One favor, he told me, and the full force of the House of Blood was mine. I told him to go fuck himself. I thought he would have enough, but then
it's the attacks. So it must have been the attacks were the favor? No, because he hadn't agreed to the thing until later.
I don't know.
What is the maybe we'll find out.
It all clicked together at once.
Maybe he wanted to have a foothold in the kingdom, maybe? I don't know. But anyway, he didn't make this deal with Septimus until the final trial when Angelica was attacking.
The nods.
Mm-hmm. And she's like, the final trial, Angelica coming after me, only me, the way Rain had looked up past me up to the stands. The little nod.
Yep.
And he was just ready to die and let her do it. He says that, like, he thought that she could do better than even him, you know?
Yeah.
In making the world better, basically. And then she has another revelation.
Mm-hmm.
He keeps asking her, like, why...
well, she's feeling her air mark, or doing something to it. My fingers moved to my throat.
I'm just human.
And she's like, this must be a mistake. I don't know how. I'm just human. And then she hears the echo of Vincent saying, it was never going to be you.
Yeah.
You are not like them.
Right. And then she asks Rain, you know, you've tasted my blood.
You've smelled me.
You're smelled a vampire. Me. Is anything off? Am I just human? He's like, I mean, you tasted different, but I just thought it was because of how I feel about you.
Yeah. He says, and maybe half human.
Yeah.
He's like, taste is a little off, but...
Right. And then she makes, you know, the revelation that she's freaking half human and Vincent's biological daughter.
Yeah.
Stop! I don't know. I had trouble with the end of this
How
book.
did you come to that conclusion also?
I know.
Like,
that was a very
what do you mean?
Roundabout. You said two things and suddenly you're like, oh! I mean, this whole time he has been like, I made you this way. You aren't like them.
Yeah, but
he's been dropping that kind of thing.
Still.
You would never be them.
Still.
He did literally make her. Yeah, it's a stretch. I don't know how she got that far.
Yeah.
But it's too many twists and turns. Zeus, relax.
Well, okay, and Rain is like, yeah, you're right. Because...
yeah, totally.
Araya's like, I can't be. He found me. He just found me. And Rain is like, well, why was he there that night?
Why did he come
to that house specifically? She's like, I don't know. It was just luck and fate. Mm-hmm. No.
Yeah, and right before he died, Vincent was like, I was going to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And Raina's always asked her, like, why is he so afraid of you? And as we learned earlier in the book, like, families will kill their heirs because they don't want to be challenged.
Yeah.
It's too much, man.
I agree.
It's too much.
The end of this book really kind of ruined it for me.
Yeah, me too. We'll get to it. But then he's like, so anyway, we gotta get married.
Yeah.
I gotta protect you by marrying you.
She's like, no.
Absolutely not.
I won't.
And he's like, think about this. Power's bloody business. You know that as well as I do. We have teeth, you and I. Now is the time to use them. We'll rip apart the worlds and subjugated both of us, and from the ashes we'll build something new. And there's no one I'd rather have beside me to do that than you, Orion. No one. And when I leave this room and come back with a priestess, you will marry me. You will do it because I can't kill you. I tried. I can't. A world without you would be a dark, depressing place. And I've already inflicted enough pain without committing that fucking injustice too. So let me save you. It's very sweet and manipulative.
Yeah. Kind of icky.
So, well, they get married.
Yeah. They do.
The priestess comes to the room. And Araya refuses to say the part of, like, you have my heart.
Uh-huh.
She's like, no, you don't, you bastard.
And she's just thinking about Vincent the whole time they're getting married.
I know.
Like,
I know.
Ew.
And then, or maybe this is before the wedding. Jasmine comes to her wedding. Nope, her window.
I think it's after.
Is it?
I think so.
Jasmine, like, he's climbing the side of the castle and knocks on her window.
Yeah,
and it's basically like, you know, the blood, the shadow. Nope. What? The House of the Blood and their Shans are murdering all of us.
Yeah.
And driving us out of the city.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do? And she's like, also, I am loyal to you now, by the way. It wasn't Vincent, it was the title.
Yeah, and I need you to give me answers because you're now in charge.
I know, and Rai's like, the fuck?
She's like, you gotta give me a minute.
Yeah, I need to get my bearings. She's like, listen, let me, like, peek around, see what I can learn.
Yeah.
And Jasmine's like, you'll know how to find me. Will she? How?
How?
Where are you going to be?
Excuse me. Why can't anyone just, like, give me a straight...
Nobody can.
Hey, call me on this number if you need me.
Or be like, I'll be by this rock over on the hill.
Shoot me an email.
Come on, shoot me. I really don't think they have those things.
Well, they should.
But they need something. Maybe
send me a pigeon.
Thank you. I was going to say airmail. Mail by pigeon. What's it called? Mail pigeon.
Pigeon
I have no clue where.
Maybe they should have someone...
Messenger pigeon!
Okay, but hear me out. They've got all these vampires with wings, right?
They sure do.
Just hire someone to send notes.
Yeah, there you go. But that's suspicious. Who you sending notes to?
Also, though they're vampires, can't they just like, hey,
And
you
somebody
have
will hear it?
supersonic hearing. You're a
Yeah,
vampire.
but if they're like, you know, miles.
Well, you just gotta yell a little
Scream
louder.
really loud. But then everyone in the castle will hear.
Hi.
To the same logic, all the other vampires around her would hear.
Well, it could be like a, hey, meet me here. I guess you still don't want people to know where you're meeting.
Then like hundreds of vamps show up. What are we doing? Are you throwing a party?
All right, messenger pigeons it is.
Sick. I'm excited about this. But yeah, Orion does not know what to tell her.
Yeah.
And Jasmine's like, she acts all concerned and newly weird with Orion, like, are you okay? And essentially is like bending the knee. She's like, you're the queen now.
Yeah.
You're nobody's prisoner. You're the queen.
She also tells Araya, I was bound to a man who sought to control me too once. I nearly gave my life to break that bond, but I'm free now. I could free you too. Like, she wants to help Araya get out.
Yeah, and Raya's like, no, I need to figure out some, like, what's going on here.
Yeah.
And what we can do. So Jasmine leaves. And then Rain comes in.
Oh, but the point in me saying that, I forgot as I was reading it. I wonder who she's talking about. Do you think she was talking about Vincent?
Him freeing her?
No. That, like, he was the one trying to control her.
Oh, yeah. I mean, maybe. He was a lot. Probably.
I don't know.
I don't know. They seem to like each other. Or maybe, like, she was just putting on a face because it was the king, you know?
Yeah.
But he was creepy. I mean, he was enamored with her.
Yeah, he was creepy with her.
Yeah.
But she then says, I guess in that same quote, that she nearly gave her life to break the bond, so probably not.
Yeah. I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah.
But then, after all that, Rain comes and takes Araya to the throne room.
Mm-hmm.
And
she has 4 locks on her door.
From the outside.
Apparently. Yeah.
She's locked in to her room. And her windows are, like, guarded with magic.
Mm-hmm.
But he takes her to the throne room and fucking, what's his fuck is there? Septimus?
No, the other one.
Septimus is the blood guy.
Carissa.
And Carissa.
Rain basically asks her if they can work together. He's
Yeah.
like, work with me. And she's like, what a nice way of saying you want to slaughter a kingdom.
Yeah. And he's like, slaughter, that's harsh. He's like, but look at what you're doing. What do you mean? Although Vincent was doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. And he's just like, I'm looking after my people. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Could we rebuild this kingdom? And at the end, he's like, guess we have to build a kingdom together. And they seem afraid to do so, you know. Both of them are hesitant. He seems like he didn't even want this. Like, he just wanted to free his people. And he was willing to let Araya take the reins on that. But then she had to go and bring his ass back. Come on, Araya.
Yeah.
Relax. But I can read the last page.
Okay.
If you want it.
Sure. The whole thing?
452, or maybe just the end. They're, you know, talking about how they're both afraid. Eyes met, of course. My friend, my enemy, my lover, my captor, king and slave, human and vampire, and perhaps the only other person who had ever really understood what it was like to have a heart that bled both red and black. I hated him and I loved him. And I couldn't even try to deny how beautiful he was with his life-mark face doused in the flickering light of our world falling to ash. He's like, are you going to kill me, Araya? And she says, not tonight. And then it ends. Dude.
It was a ride.
It was a ride.
The first half of this book was so good.
It was so good. I was talking to you. Okay. What do you rate it?
I don't know. You gotta go first this time.
I feel like I gave it like 3.5 at most.
Yeah.
I really liked the premise, and I really loved the first half.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked a good portion of the second half, until she started getting weird.
Yeah.
One, I didn't really feel super attached to any of the characters the whole time. I feel like a lot of the scenarios, they didn't give enough to, like, really feel deep about them.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking about this a little bit. Like, I want to know more about lots of things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the whole situation with Vincent and what was going on while they were in the trials. Like, I would have loved to hear about. And, I don't know, more of Rain in the backstory. But then it was just, like, slapping together a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. How many plot twists can I put into the end? And it was literally within the last, like, less than 100 pages.
Yeah.
By the way, Rain's an heir. By the way, Araya is now too. And she's half vampire. Mm-hmm. Also, like...
Vincent is actually her father.
Yeah. Also, Rain made a deal with the blood guy. Like, it's just too much.
Yeah.
It was too much. It kind of ruined it for me at the end. I don't know. What is your rating?
Same. I was thinking, like, I almost want to say 2.5, but I loved the first half of it so much. So I'm going to bump it up to a 3. But I'm with you. The last 10 chapters, less than that even, the last probably 5 chapters ruined it for me. It was like too much information, and I feel the exact same. I never got, like, attached to the characters, really, and just... Which is a bummer. I really wanted to love this book.
I enjoyed it. I just feel like, I don't know, there wasn't enough depth on most things.
Yeah.
Like, the romantic relationship between Araya and Rain wasn't super built. Like, they have, like, a couple of moments prior to them freaking, you know, him drinking her blood. Mm-hmm. But before that, it was just, like, this banter and stuff, but it wasn't, I don't know, it didn't feel like I was swooning over the situation.
Yeah.
And then I feel like there's just so much at the end that was glazed over. In that last 10 chapters or whatever could have been expanded on a lot.
Yeah.
Like, either make this book longer or end it at, like, Raya became an heir or something. And even that, I'm like, I feel like we missed out on so much of what was happening in the world with Vincent and stuff because we were in the trials. Mm-hmm. But that seemed to be a huge part of it.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm interested to see... Because, I mean, we're going to have to read the second book eventually.
We will.
And I'm really interested to see if the second book is better. Because it usually is in a series, especially a fantasy series.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, that's how I felt about Akamath. Come on.
Yeah.
Second book is gold.
Yeah, exactly. And ACOTAR is kind of trash.
It is, but I
it's good,
liked it better than this book.
I was definitely more attached to the characters in the ACOTAR series than I was in this.
Yeah.
Not that I want to compare them because they're wildly different, but...
Yeah. It just didn't build out...
I want a series to make me feel like that, you know?
I know, but we have high standards if we're going to use SJM as a freaking role model.
We do,
but
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like none of it was developed as much as I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
You know?
Agree.
And, like, Araya was not a very multifaceted character. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? She's like, I am human.
Yeah.
Danger. Must get out of danger.
I love daddy.
Yeah. And I don't know. It just wasn't enough. Yeah. I needed more out of it. But I really, really like the premise behind it all. Like, I really liked vampires, like, getting into a different part of fantasy.
The Hunger Game vibes of it all. I loved that.
Hunger Game vamps.
I really loved the trials.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, everything else, like the background of it all, just didn't do it for me.
I know. Especially when, like, the whole pissing fit between the Rashan and the Hiyaj is so heavily based around, like, their territory and their reign, and they don't talk about it nearly enough. Yeah, like, barely at all. Yeah. It's like, we know about Salinay, we know about the city, and the city is only the freaking House of the Night, or whatever it is. But that's about it. Yeah. Like, we know nothing about anything else. They briefly described, like, castles of other houses, but still, like, it's just the whole, like, heart of it. And you didn't really tell us anything about that. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. The ending didn't do it for me.
No, it actually kind of ruined it for me.
Same.
Like, I loved the first half.
Me too.
I still wasn't super attached to the characters, but I thought for sure that in the second half I would get attached to the characters.
Yeah. It just... Too many hands in the pot. Too many cooks in the kitchen. Yeah. What are all the stupid sayings?
Too many.
There's just too much. You were trying to do too much at the end.
Yep.
You should have spread it out.
Too many messages for one pigeon.
That's right. It's too heavy. Did you know that carrier pigeons can only... Carrier pigeons? Is that what they are? Did you know that they can only go to places that they've been trained to know? Okay, great. Cool. I don't know why in my head as a kid I'm like, man, you can just send them... How do they know where to go? You're like, go find Sarah. And
the address is on the outside, buddy. Go,
the pigeon's like,
shoo, shoo.
Copy.
Shoo, shoo.
Shoo, shoo. Anyways, what do you guys rate this book? How do you feel about it? We know people who love the shit out of it.
Yeah, my mom gave this book 5 stars.
Yeah.
She raved about this book.
I need to talk to your mom about it.
I know. We should all get lunch or
like,
something
why?
and chat.
What? Come on. I get it. It's a good book.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine, though.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
You tell us, everybody.
Everyone has their own, that's what I love about reading. Reading is so subjective. Yeah. Like, I could love a book that you absolutely hate.
For sure.
I mean, not you specifically, because we are the same person, but...
Basically. Yeah, no shade. If you love this book, I understand it. Yeah. It's just that it just didn't hit.
Do it for me.
Didn't hit.
No.
Leave your ratings in a comment somewhere.
Please.
And if you're listening on a podcast platform, please subscribe and give us a rating. That would help us out a ton.
If you're watching on YouTube,
hi. Saw.
We love you.
We do love you. And subscribe. Give us a thumbs up.
Please.
Leave some comments.
Yeah.
And next week, y'all, we're starting on the last book of ACOTAR.
Yeah. A Court of Silver Flames.
Hell yeah.
We're reading chapters 1 through 18.
We sure are. And I like this book. If you don't know it's reread, you should know. We've said it a few times.
Yeah.
But I like this book. I feel like it's a mixed emotion opinion about this, but it's kind of one of my faves.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
It's up there. 1 through 18 of Achat's next week.
Yeah.
You can find us on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube as Books and Crannies Podcast.
Yes.
And
on any major podcast platform.
Podcast
platform.
or other small ones too, probably. I should know, probably.
It's fine. Acast just breaks it down into Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, other.
Yeah, for the analytics.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, you all, thank you so much for listening or watching.
Yeah.
We love you.
We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, happy reading.
Happy reading.
Bye.